On day 1, I spawned into the alien fields as a Charmander. Oh wow, I'm a fire-type Pokemon! This is awesome! I wonder if I can collect enough XP to evolve into a Charizard! But before I knew it, something wet hit me in the face. It was some kind of water blast, so strong that it felt like it was shot out of a cannon. This could only mean one thing. I turned around and saw a big, powerful Blastoise laughing at me from a treetop.
I knew I'd find a fire type around here somewhere. You'll make perfect target practice.
Wait, so you're the one who hit me with that water blast? Why? I don't even know you.
You don't need to know me, and I don't need to know you. You're a fire type, and I'm a water type. We're opposites, and that's why we should be natural enemies.
That doesn't make any sense. Why can't we be friends just because we're different types?
No, I think being enemies is way more fun. Now run away before I drown you in water blasts.
And then he started blasting at me, so all I could do was turn and run away as fast as I could before his water blast could do too much damage to me. That guy has some really scary beliefs. There's gotta be some way I can stop his ideas from spreading before everyone hates each other. On day 2, I traveled away from my spawn point through the alien fields in search of experience points. With only 10 hearts, I wouldn't be winning any Pokemon championships. I'm also one hungry Charmander. Better find some food. I did some scrounging around the trees and managed to get some apples to refill my hunger bar. I do like them apples. Shortly after my meal, I was approached by a group of Squirtles, water-type turtle Pokemon that evolve into Blastoise.
Hey, fire type! You aren't welcome around these parts. If you don't get lost, we'll spread you with water.
Oh no, all of you must be listening to the hateful words of that narrow-minded old Blastoise.
Don't diss Blastoise! We're the Squirtle Squad, and we make sure everyone knows that water types are the best.
Why are you being so mean? All I was doing was eating apples.
Doesn't matter what you were doing. You're not the same type as us, so you're our enemy. Get 'em, boys!
The Squirtles attacked all together, and I started losing hearts. I couldn't even fight back because they outnumbered me. Just then, I heard a voice from nearby.
Hey, Squirtle Squad, leave him alone.
It was a Bulbasaur, a grass-type Pokemon known for having a sprouted plant on its back.
No, a grass type! We're afraid of those because they're strong against us!
The Squirtles ran away, leaving me hurt but alive, with half a heart remaining. I turned to the Bulbasaur and expressed my gratitude. Thank you for saving me. Those guys were going to tear me apart just for being a fire type.
You don't have to worry about that from me, new Charmander friend. Follow me. There's someone you should meet.
On day 3, Bulbasaur led me to a campfire where another fire type, a Flareon, was waiting. Boy, am I happy to see another fire type. No offense, Bulbasaur.
You've been through a lot, so I forgive you. How about you go talk to Flareon?
I listened to Bulbasaur and approached the campfire. Flareon greeted me with a nod, and I told him everything about what had happened to me because of Blastoise and his Squirtle Squad.
That Blastoise is fully evolved. He should know better than to pick on Pokemon of different types, especially Pokemon of the fire type, because of how few of us there are compared to water types.
Trust me, I felt that part firsthand. Those Squirtles totally outnumbered me. How am I supposed to get a moment's peace?
It can be difficult, young Charmander Zozo. I've struggled a lot in my life because of how some other Pokemon have treated me, but I also have many friends who are different types than me, like Bulbasaur, who you've met. The more we get along, despite being different types, the less the beliefs of Pokemon like Blastoise can affect us.
So, you're saying I should go out into the world and make friends with lots of different types of Pokemon?
Precisely. And if you see another Pokemon being bullied because of what type they are, you should stand up for them. Pokemon of different types make a more balanced team after all.
Wow, thanks Flareon. I think I know how to make life a little bit easier for all types of Pokemon. I'm gonna get out there and stop the hate. I left the campfire and returned to Bulbasaur, telling him about my new quest to stop the spread of Blastoise's terrible ideas. So that's why I'm going to find different types of Pokemon and get to know them.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Can I come with you, Zozo?
Sure, Bulbasaur. Let's be friends and work together. From day 4 to day 5, I knocked down a tree for wood and crafted a wooden pickaxe which I used to gather stone. I think I'll make a whole set of stone tools. I cast aside my wooden pickaxe in favor of a stone pickaxe. I also crafted a stone sword to help protect myself from the next time I'm in a fight.
Hey, Zozo! We should build a base around here. That way we'll have a place for all our new friends to hang out in.
Great idea, Bulbasaur! It'll be a Pokemon home that welcomes all types. I laid the foundation for the base in stone and built 2 different rooms designed for Bulbasaur and myself. For Bulbasaur's room, I added lots of plants and green textures that were fitting for a grass type. My room had a fire pit and a bunch of coal to keep it warm. A fire-type Pokemon needs to have fire after all. While our rooms were really different from each other, they were still close enough that we could visit each other. How do you like the room, Bulbasaur?
It's very nice, Zozo. I'm glad you made it specially for me. It shows you're really accepting of different types of Pokemon.
Awesome! I want everyone to feel welcome when they come to live here. I went outside to search for more materials. I was digging another hole when out popped a Sandslash, a fully evolved ground-type Pokemon. Before I could offer a friendly greeting, the Sandslash attacked me. It must have thought I was easy pickings because fire types are weak against ground types. Why can't we get along? I fought back using my sword and drove the Sandslash back underground. Before I knew it, I had won the fight, and the experience points from the, experience. And it caused me to evolve into a Charmeleon. I learned how to use Fire Breath, and my number of hearts increased to 30! From day 6 to day 8, I traveled to the Black Forest in search of new Pokemon friends. Woods that are this deep and dark have to be hiding some truly mysterious Pokemon. And now that I'm a Charmeleon, I'm sure I can protect myself if I need to. It turned out that the one I needed to protect was another Fire-type Pokemon known as a Vulpix.
Stop it, Beedrill! Leave me be!
I ran to where I heard the Vulpix's cries and saw that she was fending off a Beedrill, a poison bug Pokemon with powerful stingers. Buzz off, Beedrill! I dove into the fray and hit the Beedrill with my stone sword, which gave the Vulpix a chance to get to a safe distance. Beedrill tried hitting me with its needle stingers, but I dodged and hit it a few more times with my sword. Just as the Beedrill started to use its poisonous ranged attacks, I attacked with my Fire Breath, dealing super effective levels of damage. The Beedrill fainted, so I went to go check on Vulpix. Are you okay, Vulpix?
I've had better days. I'm really lucky that a Charmeleon like you came along.
Call me Zozo. I'm on a quest for all kinds of Pokemon friends.
Hi, Zozo. Would you be able to help me one more time? I was poisoned by that Beedrill, and I need some help getting Pecha Berries to work like antidotes.
Count on me. Flareon told me that us fire types have to stick together too. From day 9 to day 10, I walked through the Black Forest with Vulpix until we reached a berry bush that was covered in Pecha Berries. I grabbed one of the berries off the shrub and fed it to Vulpix. How do you feel?
I feel great, which means the poison status effect is cured. Thanks, Zozo.
Sweet! We should stock up on some of these berries for the base, just in case anyone else is poisoned. I went back to the Pecha Berry bush to gather more, but I was stopped when the ground shook. A Dugtrio burst up from the ground and stared me down with its 3 heads.
And no stomping around above my home. I'll have you earthquaking in your boots, Charmeleon.
I didn't mean to disturb you, Mr. Dugtrio. I'll just take the berries and be on my way.
You'll take nothing but a beatdown, you fire-type brat.
Dugtrio hit me with its powerful ground-type digging moves. I used my Fire Breath, but it barely did any damage. The ground Pokemon was also way too fast to hit with my sword. The only thing I could do was run away, back to Vulpix. I didn't get the berries.
That's all right. You saved me at least. You're a real friend, Zozo.
Thanks, Vulpix. I'm heading back to my base now, and you're welcome to tag along. From day 11 to day 12, I constructed another room fit for a fire type so that Vulpix could live comfortably inside the base. It was nice to know that there was one more fire type friend who would be safe from the Squirtle Squad and Blastoise. Once I was finished with the room, I went to see Vulpix, who had been doing some building of her own.
Hey, Zozo. I made us a storage room to store all of our food and other supplies.
I looked around at the base and saw that Vulpix had done exactly what she said. The base was looking more like a home than ever before. That's really nice, Vulpix. Did you do this because you already like living here?
You got it. I wanted to thank you for all you've done for me. I really look forward to seeing this place full of new Pokemon friends.
It will be, Vulpix, and you're one of us now.
Thank you. Truth is, I've needed a place to belong. For a while, I've been struggling because other types of Pokemon have picked on me. Especially because I was a fire Pokemon. Especially Blastoise and his Squirtle Squad.
Don't worry, Vulpix. I'll make sure to create a world where nobody is picked on because of their types. After the base was renovated, I went down into the mines to get some stronger materials. I dug for iron ore and found enough to make some iron ingots. With that, I upgraded my stone sword and stone pickaxe to an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Back on the surface, I discovered some sheep in the alien fields and went to work creating a pen to keep them in. Kinda weird that these are regular old non-Pokemon sheep, but oh well, I have sheep. From day 13 to day 15, I went to talk to my first Pokemon friend, Bulbasaur, about how I could evolve even further. Right now I'm a Charmeleon, but if I can become a Charizard, I'll be able to face that Blastoise on the same level.
It's not that easy, Zozo. That Blastoise still has lots of experience, and his type is strong against yours.
I still have to try. That big brute nearly waterlogged me when we first met, and now that I know he bullied Vulpix too, I'm all fired up.
Maybe you should try facing off against the Squirtle Squad to gain experience fighting against water types.
That's a great idea, Bulbasaur. Away I go. I returned to the Black Forest where I met Vulpix and called out for Squirtles to test my strength against. Come on out. You weren't so afraid of me when I was a Charmander.
And we're not afraid now. Get set to get splashed, Fireboy.
A lone Squirtle appeared, ready to take me on. I was game, so I drew my iron sword and fought against the turtle-like Pokemon. Now armed and evolved, I was having a much easier time holding my own, even though I was still taking a bit of damage.
Give up, Charmeleon. A fire type can't beat a water type.
Stop thinking about other Pokemon just in terms of types. I used my Fire Breath to deal a bit of damage and distract the Squirtle, before I swung the iron sword and finished him off like it was a metal claw attack. He dropped some experience, which I utilized to fully form into my most iconic form, the fire-flying Pokemon, Charizard! Yeah, Charizard! I had 60 hearts and a brand new Fireball attack that could be launched even farther than my Fire Breath and dealt way more damage. From day 16 to day 19, I took my newly evolved Charizard self on a trip to the Crag Gardens biome. I was feeling strong, getting used to being an evolved Pokemon. I couldn't wait to use my new Charizard powers to defend all types of Pokemon from those who would hate and divide them. While I was wandering around, I found a book of information. It's like an old-fashioned Pokedex. The inside of the book had a Pokemon article about Charizard and Blastoise. This would probably be worth the read. While both are considered to be powerful and fully evolved Pokemon, Charizard and Blastoise have a number of differences between each other. As a water type, Blastoise is known to be strong in a battle with the fire type Charizard. But even so, Charizard has always been the more popular Pokemon, beloved by trainers and other Pokemon everywhere. This has made Blastoise extremely jealous and obsessed with proving his superiority. I see. So Blastoise started this grudge against other types of Pokemon because he felt weak on the inside. I'd almost feel bad for him if he wasn't causing so much hate. I put the book down and found that I was surrounded by a bunch of Squirtles from the Squirtle Squad.
We heard you took out one of our Squirtles and evolved, so we're here to get even.
Blastoise is making you do this, isn't he? I guess I'll have to teach you a lesson through battle. I used my Fire Breath attack to hit the Squirtles all at once. Then I used my Iron Sword to deal strong damage to each of them. This battle went very differently than the one when I was a Charmander. Even though I was still outnumbered, I managed to defeat all the Squirtles and make them faint. Oh yeah, I'm strong enough to protect myself now. From day 20 to day 22, I gathered more iron from the mines so I could craft my first piece of iron armor, and decided to take the iron ingots I made from the iron ore and create an iron chestplate. Now I could have defenses where it counts. Now, for the true test of my fully evolved power, I'm gonna go see if I can defeat that mean Dugtrio in the Black Forest. I went to the same bush where the Pecha berries were and waited for that wild Dugtrio to appear, and soon he did.
Hey, aren't you that Charmeleon? Looks like you've evolved, but you're still no match for me.
We'll see about that. Charizard, attack! I opened the battle with my brand new Fireball. It didn't deal too much because Dugtrio was a ground type, but it got his attention. His melee attacks and speed were still a force to be reckoned with. But with my newly improved defenses, I was able to tank several hits and deal damage back with my sword. Before long, Dugtrio was begging for mercy.
Please, Charizard, no more. I didn't know a fire type could be this strong.
You're about to see how strong I really am. I spare you, Dugtrio.
Really? You're not gonna knock me out?
Of course not. All I wanted to do was show you I could protect myself. We could even be friends now.
Well, you're all right, Zozo the Charizard. Have the berries if you want.
Dugtrio disappeared back underground. I was about to celebrate my victory and the fact that I resolved the battle peacefully when Blastoise appeared. Blastoise!
Looks like the little Charmander has grown up into a Charizard. I knew I should have gotten rid of you when you were small. Now we're destined to be rivals.
You can stop this now if you want to, Blastoise. Water types and fire types don't need to be enemies.
You think you're better than me, don't you? Well, you're not. Charizard might be a lot of people's favorite Pokemon, but there are more water types than any other type of Pokemon. Your fire type should leave us alone and stop stealing our spotlight.
Then Blastoise stomped away, furiously. We didn't end up fighting this time, but unless he let go of his hatred towards fire types, someday we would have to. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to base with several bushels of Picha berries, which I planted outside the base so that any Pokemon living here could cure poison status effects. Vulpix was very happy since it was her who had trouble getting the berries when she was poisoned.
Now that you're a Charizard, it seems like there's a chance for things to get better for fire types.
It'll take a lot more than me to make the world a place where all Pokemon can live in harmony, but I'll keep on doing my best. And part of doing my best was adding to my suit of iron armor. So I went back to the caverns and mined until I had enough iron material to craft myself an iron helmet and iron boots. With all this iron I'm wearing, I'm practically a steel type. When I was done crafting, I went outside to see that there was a great big wall built around the entire base. Vulpix was standing nearby, looking proud. Did you do this, Vulpix?
Yes, I did. What you said about doing your best struck a chord with me. I wanted to do my best too.
You did awesome, Vulpix. I'm so glad you're living here with us. From day 27 to day 31, I was exploring the Crag Gardens when I met a type of Pokemon I had never seen before. Lapras, the Ice-type transportation Pokemon known for swimming along the waterways. Actually, Lapras had two types. It was a water type too.
Hello, are you that same Charizard that fought with the Squirtle Squad?
Yep, that's me. Please don't tell me you want to get revenge for your fellow water types.
Not at all. I'm glad that someone is teaching them not to mess with other types of Pokemon. That kind of thing gives us water types a bad name.
Well, that's a relief. Good to know there are water types out there who don't listen to Blastoise.
Blastoise doesn't even consider me a true water type because I'm part ice type. I get bothered by those Squirtles too.
So sorry. Come to my base. It's welcome to all types of Pokemon. I returned to the base with Lapras and let them settle in. I decided I should make the base more inviting to outsiders, so I harvested some wool for my sheep and placed down some decorative banners. As soon as I was done, Bulbasaur ran up to me, looking panicked.
Zozo, quick! It's the Squirtle Squad! They're attacking other types of Pokemon again!
From day 32 to day 35, I ventured out into the alien fields to find the Squirtle Squad and stop them from causing trouble. I recognized the area as near the campfire where we had met Flareon many days prior. Oh no, Flareon, he's probably in trouble.
And so are you!
A bunch of Squirtles jumped out to attack me, but I managed to fend them off with my iron sword. Afterwards, I saw Flareon getting hit with attacks from other members of the Squirtle Squad.
This'll show you, Flareon! Squirtle Squad for life!
The Squirtles attacked again and destroyed Flareon right before my eyes! Flareon, no! I blasted the Squirtle Squad with fireballs and cut the rest of them down with my sword. If I see any more of you Squirtles on the Squirtle Squad again, I'm fighting you right then and there. From day 36 to day 39, I was in the Black Forest when I met a Caterpie, a friendly bug-type Pokemon who was crawling along through the tall grass.
You startled me. I saw your wings and thought you were the flying-type Pokemon who had been attacking me.
Charizard is a flying type as well as a fire type, but this one doesn't mean you any harm. Honest.
That's good. It seems like Pokemon like me always have to worry about Pokemon of stronger types. Do you understand how that feels?
I do understand, Caterpie. Take me to this flying-type bully of yours so I can settle the score. Caterpie showed me to a clearing in the forest where a Pharaoh was swooping around. It must have been the fire type he mentioned. The Pharaoh turned towards me and charged right at me. I shot a few fireballs at the Pharaoh, defeating the bird in a single attack. I returned to Caterpie and told him that he wouldn't need to worry about Pharaoh anymore.
Thanks, Zozo. I knew I could trust a Charizard, even if you are a fire and flying type.
Why's that? I know I'm nice, but still, how did you know you could trust me?
Because everyone knows Charizard is a heroic Pokemon who defends the weaker Pokemon from danger. You're a hero, Zozo.
I'm glad everyone thinks so highly of me, but being a Charizard doesn't make me better than anyone else. Is that what Blastoise thinks? From day 40 to day 43, I went back home to the base to check in with Bulbasaur about what we should do next regarding the Squirtle Squad. When I arrived, I noticed that Bulbasaur had added a bunch of couches to the base in order to make it look nicer. What's all this for, Bulbasaur?
I'm inviting another Bulbasaur to the base so we can talk about Flareon. I wasn't the only other Bulbasaur he was friends with.
Of course, you can have another Bulbasaur visit. I didn't know Flareon for very long, but he was a good Pokemon and had lots of friends. What happened to him wasn't fair.
The Squirtle Squad has crossed a line that we can't forgive. If we don't fight them, there will never be peace between different types of Pokemon.
You're right. We have to make it impossible for them to hurt any other Pokemon. Bulbasaur and I talked for a while longer before the other Bulbasaur showed up. I could tell the grass types wanted to be alone for a bit, so I went outside. There, I was greeted by Lapras.
Hey Zozo, have you decided to take on Blastoise and the Squirtle Squad now?
Yeah, the hate in some Pokemon goes too deep, and sadly, fighting might be the only way.
If you've chosen to fight, then you should know there are other water types that follow Blastoise's scary beliefs. There is a Gyarados back in the Crag Gardens who is particularly nasty about it.
Then I show him a thing or two. If he listens to reason, I'll spare him. But if not, I'll do whatever it takes to keep other Pokemon safe. From day 44 to day 49, I went to the Crag Gardens to seek out the nasty old Gyarados that Lapras mentioned. If Blastoise was gathering together water types to gang up on and hate other types of Pokemon, then I'd need to act quickly before he convinced too many of them. Sure enough, there was Blastoise himself. It was like he knew I'd show up here. Blastoise, I'm through letting you get away with trying to divide everyone.
I'm not the problem. Charizard's like you are. Lapras must have told you I have friends out here, the traitor.
Lapras was just trying to keep you from brainwashing more innocent water types into hating fire types. And now, your Squirtle Squad has destroyed one of my friends. Take responsibility!
No, you're a Charizard, not a Blastoise. You don't know how easy you have it. And now I'm gonna make sure you never will. Stormy, I choose you.
Blastoise withdrew from the area, leaving behind Starmie, the water and psychic-type starfish Pokemon, to face me.
Bring it, Cheapazard. You are no match for my dazzling water-type moves.
That's what you think. I'll teach you to judge me by my type, Starmie. From day 50 to day 53, I started my struggle against Starmie. This was the first time I had faced off against a fully evolved water-type Pokemon, and as I expected, it was tricky. But even so, I refused to back down in the face of one of Blastoise's followers.
Why aren't you dead yet? I thought you fire types were supposed to be pushovers for us water types.
Looks like you don't know as much about Pokemon as you think. Now check out my moves. I launched a few fireballs, then finished the job with my Fire Breath. After those fire-type attacks, Starmie was weak and unable to fight, so I decided to attempt to communicate with the water-type Pokemon. Why do you work for Blastoise in the first place, Starmie? Don't you know that he's hurting people?
Yes, of course I know that. But if I defied him, I'd be cast out by the other water-type Pokemon. I'm already part psychic, and that means I have to be loyal, or else.
But that's just living by his narrow view of what Pokemon types are, which you know is wrong.
Yes, I know. But what can I do?
You can run away for now. I'll deal with Blastoise, and then you can return to this land when there is harmony between types. Starmie understood and fled, but before they ran away, they dropped a diamond, which I could use to make a stronger weapon. I thought a bit more about how Blastoise and his beliefs were making the world a more difficult place to live in. Even other water types weren't safe. Onwards to Gyarados! From day 54 to day 57, I searched through the Crag Gardens until I found the Gyarados that Lapras had mentioned. Sure enough, Gyarados attacked me on sight with a water blast. It then bit me, so I drew my iron sword and hit back. It was clear that this Gyarados really didn't like any other type of Pokemon and just wanted to hurt me. So I showed no mercy! With a blast of my fireball and a strike from my weapon, I took the flying water Pokemon down! When I got back to my base, Lapras was waiting to congratulate me for winning the battle.
Now you've seen how far Blastoise has gone to make others believe the same terrible things he does.
Yeah, all those water Pokemon, even the Squirtles, are just copying somebody they look up to. But his ideas have been hurting them by making them hurt others, and he won't take responsibility.
That's why you're going to have to stand up to Blastoise and show the world that he's actually a loser. You have to succeed where the last Charizard failed.
There was a Charizard that fought Blastoise before me?
There was, but even defeating his rival didn't remove the hate from Blastoise's heart. Pokemon like him are never happy, even when they succeed.
I had no idea how crazy this whole thing was. Blastoise is the worst! From day 58 to day 62, I expanded the farm so it could hold even more sheep. Down below in the mines, I used my iron pickaxe to dig out some diamonds, which combined with the diamond that Starmie had given me, allowed me to craft a heckin' awesome new diamond sword. The diamonds I had left over went towards upgrading my pickaxe from iron to diamond. Once I was done mining, I saw that Bulbasaur had added a brand new fireplace outside. Whoa, Bulbasaur! You made a fireplace even though you're a grass type?
Of course! Hanging out with you and seeing how nice you are has made me totally unafraid of fire. Flareon would be so proud of me.
I guess the Pokemon who were living here had started to adapt to being around each other's types, so being comfortable around fire had become no big deal. The harmony between the types that we've been striving for feels closer every day. From day 63 to day 66, Vulpix came to visit me in the mine. She had a hint about a biome I hadn't yet explored.
The Dead Sea is home to a bunch of Pokemon I used to be friends with before the Squirtle Squad chased me away.
You think we might be able to recruit any of your old friends?
I don't know. The Squirtle Squad is pretty unforgiving and might have already chased them away, or worse. But you should try anyway.
I went to the Dead Sea and looked around, but at first, there didn't seem to be any Pokemon there. Then, I heard a buzzing noise from behind me.
I finally found you.
I turned around in shock and saw a bug-type Pokemon, Butterfree, flying in the air. Do you know Vulpix?
Huh? Who's that?
Okay then, this is about me. Are you an enemy?
What? No, Zozo, it's me, Caterpie. I evolved into a Metapod and then a Butterfree.
Oh, good to see you. I've been so on edge lately that I guess I was expecting a fight.
You're right to be careful around here. I've heard Blastoise's base is here in the Dead Sea somewhere. I was looking for it so I could help you out.
Well, thanks, Butterfree. I guess I can help you find it while I'm here. From day 67 to day 70, Butterfree and I explored the Dead Sea for any signs of Blastoise and his Squirtle Squad. I appreciate that you remembered me, even after you evolved, Butterfree.
You saved me once, and I didn't want to see another Charizard get absolutely washed by Blastoise. This time, you'll win and prove him wrong.
Like I always say, I'll do my best. We continued through the Dead Sea until we encountered a wild Raticate, a normal-type rodent Pokemon with an abnormal need to Super Fang us into submission. But instead of running away, I used my Fire Breath to burn the Raticate and scare him off. Yeah, run away! You don't want to fight us! There were so many Pokemon in the world that were quick to jump into a fight, probably because that's what they were used to. Pokemon battles are one thing, but all the fighting and hatred is getting us nowhere. A little bit later, Butterfree pointed out a military-looking fortress.
There it is! The Blastoise Fortress! I found it!
All right, Butterfree, well done!
This is as far as I'll go for now. Feel free to keep exploring, Charizard, but don't do anything reckless.
From day 71 to day 74, I decided to head back home to get prepared to face Blastoise while thinking about the Pokemon that had helped me make it this far. And all the subscribers like you that have helped me make it to 1 million subscribers. Remember to search ZOZO for more of my videos. Home isn't far now. Here goes. Kept on walking, but then my progress was halted by the sudden appearance of Blastoise himself.
Stormy failed to defeat you. I should have known that dual type was good for nothing.
Awful thing to say about one of your supposed friends. You're a real disgrace, Blastoise.
No, you're the disgrace here. Taste my water blast.
Blastoise hit me with a water energy blast, and it almost caused me to faint. No way! Am I still this much weaker than him?
That's what you get, Charizard. You think you're so popular, but I'm gonna make sure you face the same fate as the last Charizard.
I was still too weak, so I ran away as fast as I could. From day 75 to day 78, after my crushing defeat at the hands of Blastoise, I hid myself away inside the base in complete shame. That was my chance to take him on and prove in front of the whole world that his beliefs were wrong. If I couldn't defeat him, he'd still be out there, making trouble for other Pokemon, and fire types especially would get hurt because of me. I was still a crying Charizard when Lapras came to visit me to cheer me up.
It's okay, Zozo. Nobody expected you to be able to beat him on the first try. Plus, what's more important is the friendships we build with each other. That's the real way to stop Blastoise from winning. Come on, out of your room.
I listened to Lapras and walked outside to see the watchtowers that had been added to the base. Even now, the Pokemon who had come to live here were together to make it better. Thanks, Lapras. I just remembered what is really important. Sometime later, Bulbasaur handed me an item of mysterious power. What is this, Bulbasaur?
It's a lava bottle, but all of us here at the base made it stronger by adding our elemental energies to it. If you drink it, you'll be able to gain the power of our friendship.
Wow, I might even be able to evolve past my limits with this. I drank the lava bottle, and the power of friendship caused me to Mega Evolve into the mighty and unstoppable Mega Charizard X. I'm a Fire and Dragon type now. My Fireball upgraded even further into a Dragon Fireball, and I had 100 hearts to boot. From day 79 to day 84, I went through the Dead Sea with my new Mega form and fought against some pure Water-type Vaporeons who were loyal to Blastoise. The Dragon Fireball's power was many times stronger than the regular Fireball, and hit with dragon energy, so it was effective against water types too. Now this is the power of friendship. I'll be able to use this form to defeat Blastoise. I just know it. As I took stock of my surroundings, an energetic electric-type Pokemon approached, Jolteon! Hey, nicely done. Those Vaporeons were not nice to anybody. By the way, I'm Jolteon. You might have met my brother Flareon. He was a good guy. Shame what happened. But hey, you'll do something about it, right? Right? Whoa, slow down. You talk so fast. But yeah, I'm looking to bring peace between the types by facing off against Blastoise. Oh wow, you're a good guy too, just like Flareon. Boy, that's just incredible. Flareon would have been so very proud. I hope so. A lot of people miss him, and I've been fighting this whole time to make sure what happens to him isn't going to happen again. That's excellent! Stupendous! Super duper cool! Here, take this diamond helmet. It'll guard your head from Blastoise's attacks. Jolteon gave me some diamond leggings, which I immediately equipped. This would come in handy in the next battles. Thanks, Jolteon. I consider you a friend. And soon, Pokemon of all types will be able to be friends. From day 85 to day 89, I went back to the alien fields to check in with the others at the base. They'll be so excited to hear that I met Jolteon. But when I arrived, things were not as I had left them. The wall and watchtowers had been damaged, and the Squirtle Squad was wreaking havoc inside of the base.
Yeah, Squirtles! Take down this place! Pokemon of different types shouldn't live together!
That's not true! This base is for everyone who wants to live here, regardless of type. I hit one of the Squirtles with a Dragon Fireball, taking him down with one hit.
Oh no, it's Mega Charizard X! We gotta get out of here, boys!
Where do you think you're going? I rushed at the Squirtles and used my Diamond Sword and Fireballs to hew through their ranks. A few managed to escape, so I followed them through the alien fields until they were nowhere near the base. Looks like the coast is clear. I better return to the base and make sure nobody was hurt. While I was walking through the fields, I noticed an incredibly rare Pokemon floating around in the air. No way! Is that? It was Mew, the mythical psychic-type Pokemon that has almost never been seen before. Mew!
That's me!
Mew, the world is full of danger right now. I'm trying my best to bring harmony to the world, but it's really hard to change people's minds.
Don't worry, Zozo. I've been struggling with the same problem. I have the psychic power to talk to many people in their dreams, but I never know what to say.
Tell them this, Mew, that we should all try to be friends, no matter what type we are.
Yes, I like that. That just might work. I'll try to remind everyone what is the same, rather than what is different.
Thanks, Mew. From day 90 to day 94, I trekked back through the Dead Sea and got a better look at Blastoise's fortress. There were some formidable-looking cannons mounted on the side of the fortress that would probably blast me if I got closer. I could see Squirtle Squad patrols all across the base. But all that doesn't scare me. I'm gonna use my Mega Evolved power to bulldoze through anything in my way. A water Pokemon came careening towards my location. It wasn't a Squirtle, but it looked slightly similar, only larger and more warlike. So I ran away, but he caught up to me.
Attention! I am Commander War Turtle of the Squirtle Squad. I hear you're the upstart firebrand who is standing in the way of our glorious future.
What glorious future? All you guys do is make life harder for anyone who isn't you.
That's because water types are the best. We're strong, we're good swimmers, and we're the majority, so everyone should have to do what we want.
If what you want is to hurt others, then I can't accept your worldview. Game on, War Turtle. I hit him with my Fire Breath and drew my sword. His defensive shell would be hard to crack, but in Mega Charizard X form, I was fast and I was furious. I hammered him over and over again with melee attacks from my sword. From day 95 to day 97, I continued to chip away at War Turtle's health, but the water Pokemon was resilient. I could see his strength in battle was why he had become the commander of the Squirtle Squad. Well, that, and the fact he's completely bought into all of Blastoise's ideas about different types of Pokemon. War Turtle used a Water Blast. It wasn't as powerful as Blastoise's, but it was still super effective. He followed up with a combo of powerful melee attacks that had me barely hanging on. I guess I've got no choice. I have to use that move. I unleashed Dragon Fireballs, 4 of them. The dragon power caught War Turtle off guard and dealt enough effective damage to put him in his place.
Hey, that wasn't a fire type move. What a cheap trick.
It's a move I learned through the power of friendship. Someone like you who think a Pokemon's type is all they can be would never understand.
Whatever, Zozo. It's not gonna matter when Blastoise brings down the rain across the land and creates a world for water types and only water types.
You mean he's even willing to do that? I thought Blastoise was bad enough, but he really can't live in a world where anyone is a different type?
It'll be a perfect world. I wish I could have seen it, but I'll settle for that horrified look on your face. Goodbye, Zozo. Enjoy your last few days alive.
War Turtle passed on, but he was oddly proud of himself. It was sad that he had bought into his hate so completely, brainwashed until the end. Now that I knew what Blastoise was planning to do, I went to warn the others about the coming flood. On day 98, I said my goodbyes to my friends who were living on my base as I prepared to go and take down the Blastoise who had caused all this trouble. First, Lapras.
You can do this, Zozo. Over these last 100 days, you've proven yourself to be a true hero. You will unite the Pokemon world.
And then, Vulpix.
You can heal the Great Divide, Zozo. I believe in you. You can right the wrongs of this imperfect world.
And finally, the first ever friend I'd met here, Bulbasaur.
Do it for Flareon, Zozo. It's what he would have wanted.
On day 99, I made my way back to the Dead Sea. I needed to conserve every ounce of my strength if I wanted to defeat Blastoise and his agenda of hate. But when I reached the outside of Blastoise's fortress, I saw a large gang of Squirtles. This was extremely bad news. If I fought those Squirtles, I'd lose energy and be weakened in my fight against Blastoise. Oh, this is terrible. I don't know what to do. That's when I heard a fluttering sound and saw Butterfree floating next to me.
This is where I may be of assistance, Zozo. You helped me, now I'll help you. Let me distract the Squirtles while you take on Blastoise. It'll all be worth it if you can bring peace to the land.
Thank you, Butterfree. I'll make sure that your risk won't be in vain. On day 100, Butterfree rushed in and distracted the Squirtles, while I entered the fortress and came face to face with Blastoise for the first time in quite some time.
Finally, you nasty little fire type! You've grown the courage to come and fight me! This is the final battle. Whoever wins will decide the fate of all the Pokemon in the overworld.
I'm not here to fight you, Blastoise.
What? This is impossible. It must be some kind of dirty fire type trick. You just want me to let my guard down so you can burn me to a crisp.
Don't be silly, Blastoise. Aren't you tired of all this fighting, all this hate? Haven't we both lost too many people?
But, I'm a water type. That makes me better. If I don't have that, what do I have?
You can have anything you want, Blastoise. You can decide who you are, not just what you are. We can all be our own people and be friends. You just need to let all this hate and pain go. Blastoise thought about it for a long moment before sighing.
I'm so sorry for everything I've done. Can you ever forgive me?
I can try, and you can try too. Come back to my base with me, Blastoise. We'll get it all smoothed over.
Thank you, Zozo. You haven't just saved everyone else, you've saved me too.
Just like that, the overworld was saved. Not with violence, but with kindness and understanding. On day 1, I spawned in as a fire spider. Oh cool, I got 8 legs and 4 hearts. But whoa, I'm not a regular spider. I'm a fire spider. That means I have to avoid water no matter what. I should probably look around. I started testing out my new abilities. I can jump high, run super fast, and climb up walls. Woohoo! Just as I was jumping from tree to tree, a swarm of tarantula hawks started to attack. Ah, where did you come from? Quickly, I jumped off of the tree and started running away. But these guys were fast. They even took out some of my hearts. Ouch, I need those! Realizing that I couldn't outrun these guys forever, I decided I needed to fight. I wonder if I have something that could help me fight these tarantula hawks. Just then I looked into my inventory and saw I had an item, Web Shot. Throw at your enemies to attack or stun them. This should work. Quickly, I put this ability into effect and started throwing webs at the tarantula hawks. Whoa, this is awesome! I managed to bring down several of the tarantula hawks with my Web Shot until there was only one left. He quickly fled before I could take him down. Ha! And stay out, you flying fiend! I proceeded to look around a little more before I decided to call it a night. On day 2, I woke up hungry and decided to make my first web. I placed it in the tree and waited. Soon, I caught a fly. Tasty. Then I went and took a look around. I stumbled upon a hole in the ground and decided to check it out. Maybe I can find some more fire spiders here. Well, I couldn't find any more fire spiders. I managed to find some stone, but I couldn't mine it because it required tools. I better go get some resources. Just as I was about to leave, a bunch of badgers started to attack. Hey, what's the big deal? These guys were tough, but I managed to fling web shots at them and managed to defeat them. They dropped some loot in the process. I picked up a stone pickaxe and sword. Oh, these will come in handy. With the pickaxe, I mined the stone and even found some iron that I could use for later. Wow, this hole is great! After checking to make sure there were no more badgers, I decided to set up camp in the hole. After clearing out some space, I set up a little place for myself, and even started to build other houses,
just in case some more spiders were to come. On day 3, I climbed out of the hole and started gathering wood from the surrounding trees. Just as I was about to bring down one of the trees, I heard a noise.
Hey, stop that down there!
Suddenly, a pigeon flew down from the top.
What do you think you are doing?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know anyone was living in this tree.
Well, there is. You can't just go around destroying everything you see like some kind of barbarian.
I didn't mean any harm, I promise. He sighed.
Just be careful next time.
Just as the pigeon was talking, a falcon came out of nowhere and started to attack.
Oh no, not this guy. You better run, little fire spider.
Instead, I used my web to attack the falcon and knock him out of the sky.
Oh, thank you so much. That falcon has been attacking me and my friends for a long time.
You're most welcome. I'm always looking for ways I can help. Why was he attacking you?
He is a servant of the Lizard King, the evil ruler who enslaves animals with fear.
Oh no, that's terrible. This Lizard King sounds like he's a real handful to deal with.
My name is Percy, and I would be happy to help you with anything you need.
Thank you, I could use help. You know, I have a place that you and your friends can stay to keep away from falcons. It's underground and I'm still building it. Would you like to come?
Most of the time, pigeons don't like living underground, but that sounds like the safe idea.
On days 4 and 5, I helped Percy put together some houses for him and his friends.
This place is going to look great, Zozo. A safe haven away from the Lizard King.
You're right. I'm gonna have to see if I can get more critters out of danger. I also don't know where any fire spiders are.
Well, in the meantime, I will stay here and continue working. Before you go, I wanted to give you this.
Percy gave me some iron armor and a sword, made from the iron I had found earlier.
I thought it best for your journey. Take care, my fiery spider friend.
Thanks, Percy. I will return. Soon I was off to find the Lizard King, when all of a sudden, the tarantula hawk I fought on the first day returned with even more of his friends.
We shall have our revenge on you.
They all started swarming me with their stingers. Ouch, leave me alone! With the new sword, I managed to defeat most of the tarantula hawks, but the main tarantula hawk was heading right for me.
I will defeat you and take you to the Lizard King myself.
He was tougher to beat than the other tarantula hawks. I even took some damage from him. You may be strong, but I won't be defeated. Dodging his blows with my speed and jumping ability, I kept on striking him until at last he was defeated. As he disappeared, he dropped some bronze armor as well as a beaker of poison. If I'm going to come in contact with any more of the Lizard King's minions, I'm gonna need this. On days 6 through 8, I continued my journey to find the Lizard King. Along the way, I managed to find a village. Hello, anyone here? I went through all the buildings, gathering supplies where I could find them, but could not find anyone. How could an entire village just vanish like this? I started hearing what sounded like voices from one of the center buildings. Maybe there are some villagers still here. After following the voices, I discovered who was in the building. It was the Lizard King. He had on a huge crown and had big red eyes. Yikes, those are gonna haunt my nightmares. Gathering up what courage I had, I charged towards the Lizard King. Hey, why are you being so cruel to all the creatures of this land? They just want to live peaceful lives, free from bullies like you. The Lizard King looked at me with those red eyes.
The tiny fire spider who defeated my tarantula hawks. You will pay for your actions. Attack!
Then all of a sudden, the floor started shaking, and from out of the ground spawned a giant desert centipede. Uh-oh, this could be bad. The centipede was strong, it had over 20 hearts, and it was quick. It's a good thing I could jump and climb, or this thing would surely take me out. Then I remembered I had the beaker of poison, and prepared to use it on the centipede. Just as I was about to use it, the centipede attacked and knocked the beaker out of my hand, shattering on the floor. Oh no! The centipede grabbed onto me, shaking me around with his mandibles, and shaking the hearts out of me. This is not good! Just as I was about to lose my last heart, the Lizard King commanded he let me go.
That's enough. I still need subjects to rule. You really thought you could defeat me? Huh. Come back again when you are worthy.
That fight did a lot of damage to me, and all of a sudden, I blacked out. On days 9 and 10, I awoke to a different location. It looked like one of the houses in the village, only it was really damaged and there were webs on the walls. Ah, spiders! Oh, wait, I'm a spider too. I climbed around the damaged house to see if any more spiders were around. Hello? Any other spiders around here? Regular or fire type? Any will do. Or anyone? Preferably ones who don't want to squish me? I looked around a little more, and eventually I spotted what appeared to be a small, normal spider. Hey, where am I?
Oh good, you're awake. It's good to see you up.
Where's the Lizard King? Where's the centipede?
You fought the Lizard King and his centipede? It's a miracle you're still alive. When I found you, they were both gone. I was really worried you weren't going to wake up, but couldn't not help a spider in need. We brought you here to look after you.
We? Who's we?
Well, me and my brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters? There's more of you?
Oh yes, at least 700. We live in dark, shadowy areas near here, under the protection of Daddy Longlegs. Would you like to meet him?
Sure. Oh, and what's your name?
Marcy. I'm a jumping spider.
Indeed. Lead the way, Marcy. On days 11 to 12, Marcy led me to a secret passageway where we climbed down into a dark hall. Through the hall, we came upon the cave of Daddy Longlegs. It was surrounded by several different spiders of all different types and sizes.
Daddy Longlegs, here is the fire spider who fought the centipede. He is healed and wishes to meet with you.
Proceed, good spider.
I am Zozo, and I come to help fight against the evil of the Lizard King.
You are indeed brave, Zozo, but I am afraid the Lizard King cannot be defeated.
What do you mean? How can he not be defeated?
He controls the predators of the animal kingdom, forcing us spiders to live underground. Any attempt we have tried to fight against him, he takes out numbers of us. I'm afraid it's too risky for our survival.
I understand your concern, Daddy Longlegs, but we cannot keep living in fear. Someone has to do something. If nobody else will, then I will.
But I know together we can do better. Be stronger. Some of us might be squashed in a moment, but surely he can't stop all of us.
Then I could hear Marcy cheering from the back.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Her cheering led to all the other spiders starting to cheer as well. Huzzah! Daddy Longlegs looked convinced and agreed to help me.
All right, Zozo, you have made your point. I will send some spiders to help you on your journey. Perhaps we truly can defeat the Lizard King.
3 spiders volunteered to help me on my quest. First was Taylor, a massive tarantula.
Yeah, dude.
Then there was Bruno, an orb-weaving spider.
Do you need a web? I got a web. It's a nice web. Did I tell you about my web?
This guy really likes his web.
Yeah, man.
Finally, there was Scarlet. She was a black widow.
I can turn anyone's life into a tragedy.
Well, I hope that will come in handy for us. Nice to meet all of you. Together, let's take this guy down.
On days 13 to 15, we arrived back at my hole base. I didn't know how Percy and his friends were going to take there being more spiders, so I proceeded with caution.
Hello, Zozo.
Hey, Percy. Wow, you got a lot of work done. This base is looking even better than I thought it could.
Thanks. I managed to convince some other birds and animals to come make this their new home.
You've done great. Hey, I wanted to tell you something.
Sure, what is... Oh, more spiders! What are these animals doing here?
They look tasty to me.
Yeah, dude.
Before this tension was to become a battle, I had to calm down both sides. Listen, in order for us to defeat the Lizard King, we must stay strong together, no matter what species we are. Also, no eating the birds.
Yeah!
All right, sorry.
After that was over, I managed to get everyone working together to create a giant statue of our hero. I hoped it could be seen as a symbol of justice and goodness for all walks of life. Can you tell what we're building? On days 16 to 19, I got a chance to meet all the new members of the base. Hey, how are you? Good to see ya. Welcome. I even ran into some unexpected guests. Oh no, the badgers again.
Wait, we're sorry for attacking you earlier. We just didn't have any other place to go. We saw how you built this place, and your friend Percy said it was okay for us to stay.
So wait, we're all on the same team?
Yep, we're also really sorry for attacking you earlier.
It's all right. I guess I can understand you being scared of someone trying to harm you. Welcome to the base. I have said that no matter our differences, we've got to work together to defeat the Lizard King.
Thank you.
Just as I was going around meeting new people, I saw Marcy run in looking for me.
I am delivering gifts for you for your journey. These are from Daddy Longlegs.
Marcy presented me with a new silver armor and sword with a special ability, Poisonous Attack.
What would I do without you and Daddy Longlegs? This will be great for my journey. Thanks, Marcy.
You're welcome. Say, this place is pretty nice. Do you think I can tell the other spiders about it?
Sure, it's not quite finished though, but maybe when I'm done you guys can come see it. There's a lot of you, so I've got to make sure everyone is really impressed.
Deal.
On days 20 to 22, Taylor, Bruno, Scarlet, and I were off to catch the Lizard King. On the road, Scarlet spotted some signs up ahead.
We should be careful. It looks like we are entering into the realm of the ants.
Ants? Are they dangerous?
They attack in numbers and can overwhelm any creature bigger than they are.
Even someone like Taylor?
Yeah, dude.
Well, then we will definitely be cautious. I can't imagine anything worse than being dogpiled by a bunch of creepy crawlers.
We scoured around for a bit, when all of a sudden a giant zombie praying mantis arose from under the ground.
Gosh, he must have been attacked by the ants. Those guys are vicious.
Yeah, now we gotta put him out of his misery.
Bruno started making a web net to trap the praying mantis in, and Taylor threw it over to the mantis, trapping him.
I think we got him.
Just then, the mantis started tearing his way through the web net. Don't worry, guys, I got this. I jumped toward the praying mantis and started using my new sword. Say your prayers now, mantis. Within a few strikes, he was finally defeated, and I felt something inside me start to change. I increased in size and even had more hearts. My attacks felt stronger too, infused with even more fiery goodness. On days 23 to 26, we finally got to the anthill.
We need to be cautious. The ants could attack if we are spotted.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not interested in becoming a zombie fire spider today. Just then, a fireball flew overhead. It was the ant guards, and they were shooting at us with trebuchets. Oh, talk about fire ants! All of a sudden, Bruno started working on what appeared to be a giant slingshot. Oh, great idea! Scarlet had some TNT, as well as some flint and steel. We decided that would work perfectly for returning fire.
Bombs away!
We took out the trebuchet and sent the ants running into their hill. Way to go, team! On days 27 to 31, we decided to go inside the hill. Wow, these guys have been busy. Inside, we found a lot of cool items that I could use for the compound and the statue. Glowstones, I can use these. As we journeyed deeper into the caves, we saw a hidden message on the wall. Subscribe? That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
A little further, and we began to see what appeared to be a story by the ants.
Apparently, the Queen Ant was tricked by the Lizard King, and now he has a puppet queen acting for him.
That's terrible. These ants should not be under the control of a puppet ruler. We need to do something. All of a sudden, something occurred. Ants began to crawl out from the walls. Get back! I mean it! No matter how hard we fought, the ants were too numerous, and they captured us. On days 32 to 35, the ants led us to the deeper parts of the anthill. Where are you taking us? I kept trying to talk to them, but they would not respond. It was as if something was wrong with them completely. Hello, can you hear me? Eventually, we came to what I suppose is their throne room. The queen ant sat there looking sinister.
Spiders? How disgusting! You will make a fine specimen for the Lizard King. Though my children and I are getting hungry.
I'm getting pretty tired of creatures telling me they want to eat me. How about I give you something to eat instead? I looked up and I could see what looked like a chandelier made of glowstones. I fired a web shot at it and the whole thing started to come crashing down.
No, not the chandelier!
I fell hard onto the queen ant, squishing her.
Whoa, what a way to go.
On days 36 to 39, we began leaving the hill. The hill was even bigger than I remembered, as we wove through many different hallways. We got lost more than once. Man, how could one place look the same at every turn? When we finally decided on a place to go, more ants came toward us. If we couldn't get out, we'd be in real trouble. Stay back, we're armed!
Well, technically legged.
No, please don't hurt us, and we don't want to hurt you.
Okay, well then what is it you do want?
We are servants of the true Queen Ant. When you defeated the other queen, we finally freed her, and she wanted to thank you.
Well, that's very nice of her. I'm glad she's back on her throne.
Feel free to come back anytime. If you have any questions, please let me know.
I did have one question. How do we get out?
Oh, right. You go up, make a left, and climb out of the big hole in the top.
Okay, that seems simple enough. Thanks.
No problem. You can climb, right?
Spider.
Oh, right.
On days 40 to 43, we thought it would be best to get back to the compound and put these glowstones to good use. Percy was doing a great job building places for the new creatures finding out about this place.
If there is one thing we birds know, it is how to make a nest to come home to.
You're doing great, Percy. I also thought these could come in handy.
Glowstones, excellent. It was starting to look a little dark here.
Right away, we got to work using the glowstones to create light fixtures around the compound. I also made sure that these were built strong enough so that no one could get hurt if they were damaged. The last thing we'd want is for there to be another queen ant situation. No one likes to get smushed. When a spider builds something, it is made to last.
Also, when birds, badgers, and other wildlife chip in on the building, it definitely helps in the long run.
On days 44 to 50, I continued working on the statue. I'm really excited about this one and feel like it's coming along really well. Can you tell what the statue is yet? All of a sudden, I could see a little jumping creature appearing in the horizon. Marcy, it's good to see you.
Oh, Zozo, I'm glad I found you. I have terrible news.
Oh no, what's the problem?
The Lizard King attacked the spider base with an army of scorpions.
Scorpions? Really?
Yes, they are one of our biggest enemies.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I really didn't think he'd be bold enough to take on the entire spider nest at one time. I'm sorry I couldn't have stopped him from doing this.
So am I. I wanted to tell you so you won't have to have the same fate. Now we have nowhere safe.
Wait a minute. Why don't you all come live at my base?
Wait, really? Are you sure you won't mind all of us living with you?
Of course not. Besides, us spiders need to stick together. Plus, I've got plenty of room here. There's no limit to the amount of houses we can make for everyone.
Ha! I see what you did there. I better go tell the other spiders right now.
Quickly, I got started gathering more materials and supplies to start building for my new neighbors. I took a good long while to gather the stuff and start building, but it was all worth it. On days 51 to 53, all of the spiders arrived. Whoa, there sure are a lot of you. Welcome. Among the spiders appeared Daddy Longlegs, and I went over to greet him. Hi, Daddy Longlegs. I'm glad to see you're all right. You're all welcome here.
Thank you, Zozo, for doing this. You have given the spiders and many others hope.
It was my pleasure. The spiders sure are honored and lucky to have a protector like you.
Oh no, Zozo. I may have been their protector before, but you are their protector now. However, if you need advice, I will always be around.
I will definitely appreciate that. I know you've seen a lot of spiders in your day. I'd never be able to lead anyone as well as you have. Afterwards, I introduced Daddy Longlegs and the other spiders to the rest of the compound. They got along pretty well. I love seeing everyone so happy to make new friends. On days 54 to 57, the whole compound got together to start building walls so no intruders could come in. When most of the building was completed, we decided we should celebrate the new compound community. Daddy Longlegs prepared to give a speech.
I am truly thankful that we can all live in harmony, thanks to our magnificent friend, Zozo.
Oh, guys, I appreciate that. While Daddy Longlegs kept speaking, no one noticed a group of scorpions sneaking up behind him. Daddy Longlegs, look out! But he didn't hear me, and one of the scorpions stabbed him in the back with a stinger.
Oh no, Daddy Longlegs!
The spiders began attacking the scorpions while I tried to lead Daddy Longlegs to safety. Just stay here, you're gonna be fine.
No, Zozo, it's time for me to go.
What? You can't go, it's not over yet.
It's okay, Zozo. Take care of them all for me.
I will. I stayed with Daddy Longlegs until the end. When I checked back, the spiders won the battle. Sadly, it was up to me to share the sad news. On days 58 to 62, the whole compound worked together to build a memorial for Daddy Longlegs. Rest in peace, Daddy Longlegs. You will be missed by us all. I promise I will do what needs to be done. While we were sad at the loss of our friend, we all realized we needed better fortifications. We spent a good portion of the days building up the walls and putting up watchtowers. I was so embarrassed that we were attacked when we thought we were safe. They should protect us, but I just wish I could have done more.
Don't go blaming yourself, Zozo. Nobody could have guessed what was going to happen.
To take my mind off of all of this, I went back to finish the statue. Maybe this could give us some more hope. Now can you tell who our spider hero is? It's the most famous web slinger of all time, Spider-Man, of course. Just as I completed it, Scarlet showed up and told me a messenger came to see me. We ran to the gate to see it was the ant from the anthill. Hello, what are you doing here?
We heard about your attack. We are sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It has been hard for a lot of us.
Our queen wanted to give you something for your loss, as well as your fight against the Lizard King.
The ant handed over a wrapped gift and told me to use it wisely. I couldn't wait to see what it was. I will definitely treasure this. Thank you, and thank your queen for me.
I shall, and you are most welcome.
On day 63 to 66, I opened the package to reveal a bunch of potions. Inside there was a health upgrade potion. I took it right away, and I gained 8 more hearts. I took a look at the other potions. Stinger Shock can cause your enemy to be paralyzed and allow you to either heal or attack. Boy, if I ever run into that centipede again, I am gonna use this. I met with my friends and told them that this would be my final mission.
Be careful, Zozo.
I will. I promise to return. We have lost too many friends for me to fail.
Good luck, Zozo. Go end this monster, once and for all.
Yeah, dude.
I said goodbye to my friends, and then I was off. All I could do was hope that I would see them again soon. On day 67 through 70, I journeyed off to find the Palace of the Lizard King. I first traveled toward the abandoned village where I first fought the centipede. I don't see him anywhere here. While I continued to look around, I spotted what appeared to be an ancient door. I wonder how long this has been here for. There was an inscription on the door that looked a little faded. I will with water when it rains. When sunlight comes, the water drains. To climb me is to achieve great gains. I quickly realized that it was a riddle and began putting it together. I got it! A water spout! The answer is a water spout! With this proclamation of the answer, the door cracked open to reveal a chest inside. I opened the box to show a full set of diamond armor and sword. I quickly put them to good use. Yeah, dude. I think I've been hanging out with Taylor a bit too much. On day 71 through 74, I traveled into the rainforest. Just as I was scurrying along the ground, a group of howler monkeys started throwing bananas at me. Oh, whoa! At least it's just bananas. One of the monkeys was huge. He must have been their leader. I started throwing web shots at him, trying to knock him out of the tree. You are not defeating me today! I managed to knock several monkeys out of the trees, forcing them to run away. The big monkey was the only one left. You might be strong, but you won't get me. With one last web shot, I knocked the monkey out of the tree and cornered him. Where is the Lizard King? Where is his palace? The big monkey gestured over in a direction. Afterwards, I went off that way. You know, that monkey looked kind of familiar. Yeah, it was probably nothing. On day 75 to 78, I journeyed along until I came to a river. Uh-oh, it's my old nemesis, water. The river was way too wide to try and jump, and I didn't want to risk falling in, so I decided to build a bridge. I was halfway finished when out of nowhere, who was to turn up but the scorpions again? You guys, I'll make you pay for what you have done. I readied my sword and prepared to attack. This is for Daddy Longlegs. I charged at the scorpions, and they leaped forward to attack me. They were strong, and I could tell they were trying to push me back into the water. But with my new armor, I could hold them off. I'll take you all on if I need to. Then I remembered I had the potion, and quickly used it against the scorpions. Take this! The scorpions began to move slower, and I could see their attacks before they could make them. Block, stab, slice, gone! One by one, I took out each of the scorpions. I gathered a new item. Scorpion tail, used to attack or intimidate enemies. Also can be used as a disguise. When all that was over, I continued making my bridge to get across the river. On day 79 to 85, I finally finished my bridge to cross the river. When I got to the other side, I found that the only way ahead was through a narrow ravine, but the entrance was guarded by 2 scorpions. Man, these guys are everywhere! While I could have attacked them, I remembered that I still had that scorpion tail in my belongings. I quickly put it on and approached them. La 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 la, just a disgusting scorpion out for a stroll. The guards didn't seem to mind and proceeded to let me through. Well, that was easy. While journeying, I wandered into an open field that looked pretty desert-like. Well, this is a weird place to put a desert. All of a sudden, I heard rumbling and could feel the ground shake. I knew right then what it was. Suddenly, the centipede bursted out of the ground, just like last time, and lunged toward me.
It was time to take my revenge.
Bring it on, leggy. That centipede was still fast and dangerous, but I was much more confident this time around. Oh, no you don't.
I even used the scorpion tail to make a couple of hits, but it broke in the middle of the fight. So much for disguising myself again in the future.
Take that, and that! Finally, I took out the potion again and used it for the finishing blows. I'm worthy enough this time. Prepare to be defeated. The potion worked, but the centipede was still quick. Furiously, I used everything I could to finally defeat it. Just then, I started feeling tingly. Ooh, I like this. I changed into a bigger and more powerful fire spider with even more hearts. All right now, Lizard King, prepare to meet your match. On days 86 to 90, I continued on my journey. I was feeling really confident until I realized I had just walked straight into quicksand. Oh, come on, who thinks of quicksand? Suddenly, I started thinking of ways to get out. All of a sudden, I could see Percy flying overhead. Percy, I'm glad you're here.
I can see that. How can I help?
Maybe you can pull me out, catch this chain, and start flying.
Good idea. Hit me.
I threw the line towards Percy and began flying, pulling me out of the quicksand. Oh, that was close. Thanks, Percy. What are you doing here?
I wanted to see how you were. You saved my life so many times before, and I guess I just wanted to repay you in some way.
Well, you definitely did that. If it wasn't for you, I would be in a really sticky situation. It can get risky at times, wandering around out here on my own.
You are definitely welcome, my friend. I will let the others know of your progress.
Just before he left, Percy warned me about something he saw while flying overhead.
Be careful. I saw what appeared to be a gang of bullfrogs coming in your direction. They must be heading to the palace of the Lizard King.
Bullfrogs, you say? Those things will gobble spiders up in one bite. I'll be sure to look out for them. Thanks again, Percy. Take care. On days 91 to 94, I finally ran into the bullfrogs. Wow, those guys are big. I didn't know bullfrogs could get that big. For the most part, they didn't seem to notice me. That's until one of them apparently spotted me and started shooting his tongue at me. Yuck! I don't need you tasting me. He was strong though. He even took out a couple of my hearts. If I didn't make a move, I was going to be one toasted bug. I can't just keep fighting this guy forever. I knew I had to outmaneuver him, so I jumped into a tree and waited for him to get bored. Luckily, he didn't seem to be the smartest of creatures, even though he was so tough. Serves you right. I didn't come this far to become a spider snack. On days 95 to 97, I followed the bullfrogs to the Lizard King's palace. They might have been strong, but they weren't very smart. They led me right to where I needed to go. Wow, this is gonna be a lot. As I got closer to the gate, I spotted a message written on the palace roof. Subscribe. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Be sure to subscribe and like this video for more content. I go on a lot of adventures and would love to have you follow me on them. I tried to get through the front gate when a horde of gecko soldiers started to attack. Out of my way. I got a king to fight. I smacked the heck out of them until finally they were all defeated. This guy really loved his amphibians. On day 98, I ran inside through the palace corridors to find the Lizard King. Wow, this place is pretty ornate for a lizard. Hey, that armor looks kind of familiar. Oh yeah, I almost forgot that I had an adventure as a knight. That was a journey. You guys should definitely go check it out when you are done with this one. Through different rooms, I would occasionally have to battle some of the gecko soldiers. Don't you guys have anything better to do? Despite looking all throughout the palace, I couldn't seem to find the Lizard King anywhere. I was getting disappointed and even losing a little bit of hope. I turned around and I could see what appeared to be the ghost of a long-legged spider. Daddy Longlegs? Is that you?
Yes, Zozo, it is I. I told you that I would always be there to help you. Don't give up. You are so close to the end.
You're right, Daddy Longlegs. I must continue. I'm scared though. I'm just a fire spider, and I don't know if I'll defeat the Lizard King.
You may be small, but you have the spirit of a giant spider inside of you, and it's time to let that spirit out. I'm going to grant you the power that made me so big.
Something started to happen. Magic energy filled the room, and I felt myself changing once again. I transformed into a gigantic fire spider. I had so many hearts now. Thanks, Daddy Longlegs. On day 99, I finally landed in the throne room. The Lizard King sat on his throne with his big red eyes staring at me.
Well, well, if it isn't the itsy-bitsy fire spider who defeated my minions. Looks like you aren't so small now, but I bet you're still weak. Come to face me at last?
I will do what I must.
Then you will croak.
Just then, he flipped a lever, and the bullfrogs I had seen earlier came in. Oh no, not these guys again! Then I remembered I still had the potion, and was about to use it when one of the frogs grabbed it with its tongue. Guess I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Using my wall-crawling abilities and spider jumps, I dodged attacks from the frogs and gave them some damage. It looked like my attacks were superpowered with fire strength now. Soon, all the frogs were defeated, though I could swear I missed one. Now it's just you and me, Lizard King.
So be it.
He charged toward me with lightning-fast speed, giving me strong blows that did cause some damage.
You should not have fought against me, Spider. I am the Lizard King.
Oh yeah? And how do you taste?
What?
Just then, the last frog I thought I missed shot his tongue out, grabbed the Lizard King by the tail, and sucked him into his mouth.
No!
I became hesitant because I didn't know how the frog was going to respond. Hey, you're that frog I fought with earlier. I'm sorry for hurting you. Truce? The frog just looked at me, then suddenly spat up the Lizard King's crown. He croaked, then proceeded to hop away. Well, I guess that means truce. On day 100, I returned to the base to see everyone there, waiting for me. I told them all about what happened with the Lizard King. Wow, I didn't even know frogs could eat lizards. Neither did I. Guess you learn something new every day.
Zozo, I'm glad you've returned.
Yeah, dude. The Lizard King is defeated. Now we're free.
This would not have been possible without you, Zozo. Thank you, from all of us. Now we can go back to living our lives in peace.
And now we have a new home for spiders of all walks of life. Then there came a commotion at the gate. What's going on over there? Suddenly, a loud croak could be heard.
Frog!
No, wait, I think I know him. Turns out it was the frog from earlier, come by to say hello. I'm glad you could come by. Just one rule, no eating anybody. The frog agreed, and I proceeded to introduce him to everyone. This had been quite the adventure. On day 1, I spawned in as a fire WITHERSTORM, a force of pure fiery destruction. Why am I so puny? I only had 6 hearts to begin with, but I knew WITHERSTORMs grew stronger by absorbing blocks and mobs. I tried to absorb some of the nearby blocks and grow bigger, but it didn't work. Maybe I needed to unlock that ability first. It also looked like I couldn't really fly yet. At least I'm immune to fire. The area I spawned into was a molten lava field that would be really dangerous for regular mobs. It was like home sweet home, but there was nothing to destroy. I didn't see any other WITHERSTORMs either, so I figured I had been left behind by the others while they went off to grow bigger. Wait for me, guys! I ran around looking for my friends until I saw something really strange. There was a snowy biome right next to this fire one. What's the deal? Everyone knows that fire and ice don't mix. I heard a growl behind me and saw a fire Cerberus looking really hungrily at me. Hey, WITHERSTORMs aren't nutritious! I hit the Cerberus, but because I was so small, the damage was nothing. I was losing hearts fast to its bite, so I decided to run away. I ended up running straight into a Vex that wanted a piece of me too. All of a sudden, Fireland doesn't feel that much like home. I jumped down into a lava pit and hid myself away. I knew they couldn't follow me because of my fire immunity, so I stayed there safely until the next day. On day 2, I hopped out of the lava pit and found some burnt out trees. It wasn't what I was expecting, but at least I could gather some wood to make my first tools. I've never seen a wither make anything before, but it's nice to be the first at something. These tools would probably burn up if I used them here, so I made my way towards that snowy biome that I saw the other day. On the border between the fire and ice biomes, there was a wide river with a strong current. If I try to cross that, I'll be put out like a campfire. I didn't have enough wood to build a bridge, so I followed the banks of the river to see if there was a place where it was safe to cross. That's when I noticed something small flying towards me from across the river. It was an imp with icy wings.
Do not cross this river. I'm warning you, Fireface.
That's rude. First of all, my name is Zozo. Second, why do you care if I cross it?
It's not me who cares. The Ice Meister is the one who doesn't want anyone from the Firelands coming over here.
I'm a WITHERSTORM first, and a fire creature second. I'll go where I want.
My warning still stands. There's a war going on, and Ice Meister plans on winning it.
A war between the creatures of ice and fire? That sounds heated and chilling.
Steer clear of it, Fireface. Zozo.
Thanks. I finished the day by mining some stone blocks from the side of the river with my new set of tools. On day 3, I started building a base on my side of the river with some stone blocks as the foundation. Whoever this Ice Meister guy is, he can't be mad at me if I don't leave the Firelands. I was still really weak for a fire WITHERSTORM and needed something to protect me from all the wandering mobs until I could unleash my full potential. I was betting that the mobs could sense my true potential, and that's why they were attacking me. Almost done putting up the walls, I'll be safe now. It turned out I spoke too soon, because a dread beast ran inside the base and started trying to infect me with its plagues. I pulled out my wooden sword and swung away at the mob. The wooden sword caught on fire as soon as I started using it. It felt good to be the one attacking for a change, probably because I hadn't gotten to do any actual destroying yet. With the final blow, the wooden sword got destroyed, but I downed the beast. Bye-bye, beastie. Hey, I wonder if I can use my absorb ability on it now. Come on, let's go! Absorb! The ability actually worked this time. The dread beast and a bunch of the surrounding blocks got added into my body. I had gotten way bigger, and my total number of hearts was 14 now. I had 3 tentacles now instead of none. I could make 3 times as many melee attacks now. The only downside was that absorbing more material into myself made part of my base disappear. I better be careful what I absorb in the future. I replaced the blocks that got absorbed and made sure to finish the foundation, and replaced my broken wooden sword with a new stone one. This one should last longer now. I plan to go and gather more stone tomorrow. On days 4 to 5, I went looking for more stone by the riverside. This time, I noticed that part of the river was frozen solid, like somebody had built a bridge of ice blocks over the running water. If I tried to walk on it, the ice would melt. But something told me the ice and snow mobs wouldn't have the same problem. I was right. There was already a taiga zombie on the fire side of the river.
How many times does the Ice Meister need to teach a lesson?
Hey, I've stayed on my side. Why can't Ice Master stay on his?
It seems you don't remember what you used to be.
What did I used to be?
You were the Ice Meister's greatest rival, the leader of all the fire mobs in this world. You almost melted all of the snow zone before he defeated you.
Whoa, I used to be the ruler of the fire side of the river? That's really cool. What happened that made me so small and weak?
That's not your business anymore. I'll destroy you before you become that powerful ever again.
The taiga zombie clearly wanted a fight, so I made sure to give it one. The zombie had only one weapon, and I had 3 tentacles and a stone sword, so he was quickly outmatched. I won! Now I'll absorb you too. The absorption didn't work this time, which probably meant that the ice mobs were totally immune. That was disappointing, but important to know. I finished off the zombie and gathered as much of the stone as I could before my wooden pickaxe broke. I went back to my base with the stone I gathered. If there really is a war, I need to get fortified. On days 6 to 8, I found some lost tentacles lying around in the Firelands. I wonder if these used to be mine when I was big and strong. The mysteries grow deeper. I couldn't attach them back onto myself, but I did know of another way to put them to good use. First, I had to gather sticks from around the burnt trees. Next, I upgraded my wooden tools to stone. This let me mine for a couple ingots of iron and gold beneath the Firelands. With access to both sticks, gold, and iron, I was able to craft a hook. Then, I combined the lost tentacles with my hook in order to make a tentacle grab. This special item would let me grapple enemies and keep them from getting away. It would be perfect for keeping mobs within melee range. Not long after I crafted the tentacle grab, I noticed a few ice mobs on this side of the river. They were ice piglins, and they were not happy to see me. Get out of here! Go tell Ice Meister that I survived, and I'm going to become big and strong again. They started moving towards me. Time to test out my new weapon. I quickly struck down the first mob, and then the second. I then snared the ice piglin with a tentacle grab and pulled him in for a tentacle beatdown. Bet you weren't expecting that. Those old lost tentacles were good for something after all. The piglin was defeated. Ice Meister would have to do better than that if he wanted to eliminate me for good. And next, I was going to strike back. It was time to see what this snowy biome was all about. On days 9 to 10, I gathered as much stone as I could find and built a sturdy bridge over the river. Now I can cross over to Ice Master's side of the river and see what I'm up against. The snowy biome had tons of materials that I had never seen on the fiery side of the river. There were blocks of lapis, and the polar bears dropped some pelts, which I used for decoration on my base. I continued through the tundra, seeing all sorts of wonderful things along the way. This was a nice area. It would be a shame if I had to burn it all down. That's when I saw him, Ice Meister. Memories of the last time we fought came flooding back to me. I was a lot bigger than I am right now when I lost to him, but it seemed like he used some kind of enchantment on me. I had to find out more. I approached Ice Meister confidently. Remember me?
It can't be. You're the Fire WITHERSTORM from across the river.
That's right, and you're going to stop sending ice mobs into the Firelands, or we're gonna have a problem.
Pathetic little puff of smoke. I'll let you live just this once, but only because I've already sealed your power away.
I didn't know what he meant, but I had the feeling he wouldn't be so understanding if I stuck around. I turned back towards the river so that I could make my way home. When I got to the stone bridge, I noticed a brown bear halfway over the bridge.
Oh, hey, don't mind me.
Please, don't tell me you're another ice mob invading my territory.
Me? Not at all. I'm trying to get somewhere warmer. Are you from the Firelands?
Actually, I used to be top dog over there. I am Zozo, the Fire WITHERSTORM.
I'm Reginald. All the other bears like the cold, but I'd rather be in a nicer climate. Everywhere Ice Meister goes, he freezes the terrain and starts building cities made out of ice.
Well, then you'll be right at home in the Firelands. It'll always be warm there. On days 11 to 12, Reginald and I returned to my base on the fire side of the river. I soon made an extra room for him with a sunroof so he could get the most out of the pleasant weather. After that, I went to mine for more iron with my stone pickaxe. Because of all the lava, the Firelands were rich in obsidian, which I could gather later. It's a sturdy material that would make my base stronger. But before I could get enough ingots, I was ambushed by a wildkin. It did a ton of damage with a single attack. Ow, my heart! I couldn't get any further into the iron mine with that mob down there, so I ran back above ground. I have to unlock more of my former abilities. What else do WITHERSTORMs do? I concentrated as hard as I could on one of the nearby magma cubes. With some effort, I was able to fire a Wither Skull projectile. The mob was destroyed in one hit. Wither Skulls, that's it! The Wildkin would take more than a few Wither Skull attacks to be defeated, but I could at least weaken it before it got close. I went back down into the iron mine and put my plan into action. The Wildkin was waiting for me, so I wasted no time blasting him with 3 Wither Skulls. Now I could fight at close range without worrying about getting worn out. The Wildkin's claws were still doing damage to me, but I had 3 tentacles, so my attacks were much faster. Once I beat him, I crafted an iron pickaxe and mined the obsidian from the surface of the Firelands. This obsidian will look great on my base. I was right, the obsidian made a perfect addition to the outer walls. My base was becoming a real fortress. On days 13 to 15, I started to remember more of what happened back when I was a fully grown Fire WITHERSTORM. I was huge and absorbing everything in sight. I remember the terrain being covered in ice, but unlike the snowy biome next door, it was the middle of the ocean. I must have been able to fly here from the Firelands. Down below, I saw Ice Meister. He was slightly smaller than the present day, so this must have been his younger self. Hahaha, you're not so tough. Move aside, Pipsqueak.
I won't let you destroy my home.
He sounded really upset, and from the look of things, it seemed like I was the one who had attacked first. I saw Ice Meister hold a black block, and it began absorbing me. No, impossible! My destructive power!
Your true form is sealed now. It will never escape this enchanted block.
I fell down to the ground, a tiny and weak version of what I used to be. I'll be back one day. Ice Meister called some other snowmen to put me on a block of ice, which floated away from this land and down the river to the Firelands. Back then, the Firelands were on both sides of the river. The dream ended there. It seemed like Ice Meister just wanted revenge because of what I did, but he showed mercy to me the last time I was there in spite of that. I can't believe I used to be the bad guy. I should just leave the ice mobs alone from now on. That might be the only way to make up for all the destruction I caused when I was big. On days 16 to 19, I decided to tell Reginald about the memories I was having. I felt really bad about what I did, so I needed to talk to a friend. I thought Ice Meister was the bad guy, but it turns out I made him that way because I bullied him and melted his home.
That is a lot. Have you thought of saying sorry and trying to do something nice for him?
I might have messed up too badly for that. There's no way to undestroy something.
Being sad about it won't fix the problem neither.
You wouldn't get it. I ran away from the base, leaving Reginald behind. He was better off without me anyway. I was a destructive bad guy, and he was just a regular bear. How could he understand what I was feeling right now? While I was out wandering the Firelands, I saw a village under attack by taiga zombies. Oh no, I have to help! Without even thinking, I raced to the aid of the villagers. The zombies were easier to defeat this time, now that I was bigger and I could clear out several at once. The villagers cheered as I drove the last of the ice mobs off. Their home was saved, and I actually felt good. The Firelands were attacked because of me, but I'm going to save them anyway. I can't change the past, but I will stop this war and save my home.
Thank you, Zozo. We were hoping someone would protect our village from the ice mobs, but we never expected you would return to save us.
I'm back, and better than ever. The villagers brought a large stack of blocks out of their houses and set them down in front of me.
We were storing these blocks for you to absorb, so you could become strong again.
You're not afraid of my true form?
No way! You were always nice to us fire mobs, and with you around, nobody messed with us. Go on, absorb those blocks.
I did what the villager said and became an even larger Fire WITHERSTORM. My total number of tentacles was 5, and I had 3 heads now. Hi, hello. My armor and hearts were both increased too, with iron level durability and 25 hearts. I was really starting to resemble my old self. In a good way, I hoped. Do you villagers know anything more about how I used to be?
We do know one thing. The legendary block that contains your true form was hidden away by Ice Master after he defeated you the first time. If you can find that, you'll be back to full power in no time.
Full power! I like the sound of that. Even though taking my old form could make me a bad guy again, I decided to find the sealed block anyway. If I'm going to end this war, I may as well be prepared to do whatever it takes. On days 20 to 22, I went back to the base so I could apologize to Reginald for running away. I found him outside the base, fending off some polar bears.
It's over, Reginald. You're coming home with us. No, this is my friend's base, and I'm protecting it until he comes back. You're a fool. We were right to kick you out of the Polar Bear Club.
I ran over to help. Reginald, I'm back. I'm so sorry I yelled at you.
Oh, it's the firestorm. Retreat.
The polar bears ran away in fear in the sight of me.
Thank you, Zozo. I'm glad you came back.
What are friends for? Now that the base was safe from the ice mobs, I started laying the foundation for a statue. I would need a lot of obsidian, so I got to mining as much as I could. With my pickaxe, I diverted part of the river into the Firelands to create even more obsidian where the lava was flowing freely. This also let me improve the base with a moat that even the ice mobs would have trouble crossing. I made sure to give it a drawbridge, and I filled it with lava. That should be enough obsidian to get started. What do you think I'm building? Also, subscribe to Zozo if you want to see more of my adventures. On days 23 to 26, the base was attacked by more ice mobs. Those polar bears who bullied Reginald must have told Ice Master where I was. There was a whole pack of frost stalkers trying to get in. They were some strong mammoths, but fortunately, they weren't the kind that were clever enough to open doors. Thanks to the blocks I absorbed in the village, I was big and strong enough to give them a real thrashing. The last one to be defeated dropped their pelt, which I used to craft a frost stalker cloak. With this, I could disguise myself as a frost stalker and infiltrate the snowy biomes. I traveled over the stone bridge and into the cold forest where the frost stalkers lived. The cloak's disguise worked like a charm. I could tame the frost stalkers and have them keep other mobs out of the forest. The trees here were made of spruce wood, which couldn't be found in the Firelands. I should take some home with me since I'm here. I would have stayed longer, but I was worried about being discovered by the Ice Meister. I went back to the base and built myself a fireplace that would put the spruce wood to good use. When I went back outside, I saw a fire elemental hanging outside the walls of the base.
Excuse me, is this where the resistance is?
Resistance?
You know, the resistance against Ice Meister and his army of ruthless conquerors. Some villagers told me that the Fire WITHERSTORM was coming back. Is that you?
Yep, that's me.
Oh wow, I'm your biggest fan. I wanted to join up with you and help save our home.
You're a fan of me? Wow, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'll let you in. It's safer inside of the base.
Sweet.
I added a room made completely out of obsidian to the base for the fire elemental to live inside. On days 27 to 31, I had another vision, but this time it wasn't from the past, but from the present. I could feel my sealed destructive power calling out for me from inside the enchanted block. It seemed like it had been locked away inside of some kind of underground vault. I didn't get to see the outside of the chamber, but my best guess was that the entrance was somewhere in the snowy biome. I went to the stone bridge in order to cross, but saw that it had been destroyed while I was away. That must have been the Ice Meister's doing. It looked like the mob who did it was still there. A ferocious yeti that was bigger and badder than any ice creature I had faced yet. It snarled and charged at me. You may have wrecked my bridge, but I'm a lot tougher. I launched a wither skull at him before hitting him with the tentacle grab. The yeti attacks were strong, but so were mine. After After fighting the big lug for a bit, I let go of the grapple and pushed him into the river. The fast-moving current washed him far away. I jumped over the gaps of the bridge and made it to the other side. On days 32 to 35, I came across a village of icemen. They'll probably attack me if they find out who I really am. I'd better blend in. I used the Frostwalker cloak in hopes that they'd think I was just a mammoth passing through. It didn't really work.
It's the leader of the fire mobs!
Darn it, there goes that plan.
What do you want with us?
Don't be afraid, I'm not a bad guy anymore. I just want my powers to be unsealed. Do you know where the Ice Meister is keeping the block?
I can tell you that it's not anywhere in the Snowlands. Ice Meister didn't want you to invade us looking for it.
I'm not invading, I swear.
Like we'd believe you.
It wasn't on this side of the river. That was bad news on its own. It was even worse because the villagers were really scared of me. I figured I might as well leave, and then Ice Meister showed up.
What's this, Iceman? Are you seriously being friends with a fire mob? That's not cool.
No, Ice Meister, it's the leader, the Fire WITHERSTORM you sealed away.
That's even worse. I should have you all frozen for this betrayal.
Hey, don't blame them. I'm the one you want.
And you, I told you I'd only spare you once.
Then come and get me. Ice Meister started chasing me, so I ran away from the Iceman village back to the river. Thinking quickly, I took a risk and jumped in. The water would deal damage to me, but I had enough hearts to withstand it now. I had gotten away from the Ice Meister, but the current took me for a ride. That was until I hit an ice bridge further down the river and was able to swim back to shore. It was the Icemen. They had come to save me.
Thank you for distracting Ice Meister. He's gotten really angry lately, and he's obsessed with war. You protected us, so I guess we misjudged fire mobs.
No sweat. Come on, follow me back to the base. On days 36 to 39, I made some big changes to the base, so the Icemen who were staying here wouldn't be too uncomfortable with the heat. I carefully made a big pool filled with water for them to cool off. You can never have enough water fun. Well, I can, but you guys have a good time.
You got that right.
Now that you're all here, why don't you tell me more about that block that contains my true form?
Ice Meister said he hid it in a place that is neither fiery or icy. A pasture with a balanced climate and huge fields of crops.
It sounds like there wouldn't be any war happening there.
Yeah, wherever it is.
After talking to the Iceman, I did some more work on my statue. I've moved past the foundation, and it's starting to take shape. Do you know what it could be? On days 40 to 43, the base was visited by a friendly dragonfly.
Salutations! I've heard that you're trying to take the fight to the Ice Meister.
You heard correctly.
All right, it just so happens that I know about a way to upgrade your Wither Skulls.
Oh, tell me!
There's an ice mob outpost upriver from here, where they're keeping the power-up, which will turn your Wither Skulls to blue Wither Skulls. It's guarded by a goat centaur archer, so be careful.
I followed the dragonfly's advice and went to the outpost. As soon as I got there, the archer started opening fire. I avoided the arrows and struck back with my Wither Skulls. Kablam! I'm a pretty good shot. Inside the outpost was the blue Wither Skull power-up. I absorbed it, and my projectile attacks became twice as strong. These blue ones do serious damage. I felt the call of my sealed self further upriver, so I decided to trust that feeling and keep going. On days 44 to 49, I was astounded by how beautiful the biome around me was. There were crops growing everywhere, and the grass was lush and green. So this is what the world would look like if fire and ice weren't fighting? There were still dangers out here. A whole pack of coyotes tried to eat me, but I was too spicy. That's a fire joke. The coyotes turned away from me and ran back into the field of crops. I saw them a couple seconds later chasing a poor scarecrow.
Help! Help! If only I had a way out of this mess!
Hang on, I'm coming! I ran in and smacked the coyotes with my sword, scaring them off. Why were they chasing you? I thought coyotes ate meat.
They're vegetarian coyotes, and most of my body is made out of vegetables.
Oh, glad I could help.
I'm Straw Bastion. Feel free to make yourself at home. There are plenty of crops here, all nourished by the magical power source we keep underground.
This magical power source wouldn't happen to look like a black block, would it?
Oh, I've never seen it personally. All I know is that it has a great fiery power which can keep the ground nice for cultivating crops.
That has to be my sealed form. On days 50 to 53, I followed Straw Bastion as he showed me around his peaceful land. I was keen to get my hands on my true form, but I didn't want to scare him since he seemed like a nice guy. Has this place always been so peaceful?
There isn't any great war, if that's what you're asking. But we do have our own problems.
Like what?
Look around. All this delicious food and nobody to eat it. Every season, so much of it goes bad because the people in the surrounding lands don't come to visit.
Well, I'll make sure that changes.
That reminds me, there's another traveler here.
Oh, how nice. Do I know them? Turns out I did. The Yeti who broke my bridge jumped out and attacked me. He must have swam all the way back up. Let's finish what we started. I grappled him and we began to fight. Straw Bastion got scared, so he ran away. I wanted to go check on him, but I had to teach this Yeti a lesson first. Don't break people's stuff! I hit him with my Wither Skull and the Yeti was no more. After the fight, I looked around for Straw Bastion but couldn't find him. I guess I'll come back later. I was walking home when I ran into another vegetable person. This one had a tomato for a head. Wait, are tomatoes fruits or vegetables?
What's it to ya?
Sorry, I'm just looking for the legendary enchanted block. How do you get to it?
You gotta dig for it, but you'll need better tools than that. There's a garden shed nearby with a strong shovel you can use.
I took the Tomato Man's advice and found a diamond shovel inside of a nearby abandoned shed. The shed was too small for me, so I used my tentacle to pull the shovel towards me without damaging the shack. On days 54 to 57, I told everyone at the base about the peaceful fields upstream. All the fire and ice villagers were excited about all the food there and wanted to visit. To make the journey easier, I made rowboats out of the spruce wood. While I was working, Reginald came outside to join me. He said he wanted to ask me something. What is it, buddy?
I wanted to mention something about this place with all the vegetables.
Doesn't it sound amazing?
It does, for everybody else. But bears don't eat greens. We prefer fish, and lots of it.
Oh, I get what you're saying. You want me to rustle up a source of fish so that you can have your favorite food too.
Yeah, as long as it's not too much to ask.
You've got nothing to worry about, my friend. I decided to go fishing, but not with nets or fishing poles. I dug a gigantic hole in the ground. It was big enough to be a pond. Just add water. Reginald would have all the fish he needed right here at the base.
Thank you so much. Here's a weapon I think you could use. Like you, it's a destroyer.
Reginald handed me a powerful breaking weapon. My excavations would be a lot easier with that bad boy in my arms. On days 58 to 62, the statue was really starting to come together. You could almost guess what it was going to be. A new wave of ice mobs suddenly broke through the base's defenses. There were ice piglins, frost stalkers, and even new enemies I hadn't seen before. Who let them in?
Zozo, help!
I saw Reginald being attacked by those polar bears again. Thinking quickly, I put on my Froststalker helmet and sent some of the Froststalkers to deal with them. Reginald and I ran away to another part of the base together. When we were there, we saw that the fire villagers and icemen were fighting. Hey, break it up! What's going on here?
I knew we couldn't trust the people of the Snowlands.
You're the ones who couldn't accept us.
Enough! I shouted loudly and got everyone's attention. I probably scared them, but at least they stopped fighting. Stay here and don't hurt each other. I'll go deal with the enemies outside. Reginald, you're in charge.
Yes, sir.
I left Reginald and the villagers in the safe place behind my house and fought back the ice mobs single-handedly. There was one friend I hadn't seen in there, and I was becoming worried. Come on, Fire Elemental, where are you? I discovered him at the drawbridge, surrounded by ice mobs. They had already depleted most of his health by the time I got there. I wanted to do something, but it was too late.
Sorry, Zozo. I thought we could win, so I called for a battle.
It's okay, I'm here now. We'll win.
Oh, good. You can do it, Zozo.
With that, the fire elemental faded away. He had been so brave, and unlike me, he wasn't coming back from this. This was Ice Meister's fault, and he was going to pay. On days 63 to 66, I went to the Snowlands and tried to convince the local creatures to stop the war. This battle is between Ice Meister and myself. None of you need to get involved. If you don't want to fight me, there is a place at the top of the river with plenty of food and no war. If you stay here, Ice Meister will force you to invade the Firelands. A few of them seemed to listen and started heading upstream, but one ran out of the crowd of snow creatures and attacked me.
For Ice Meister, I will defeat you. You cannot be allowed to reclaim your true form.
He was strong, so I had to fight back. At least I wasn't picking on the weaker ones. Stop it! More fighting is not the solution.
It's too late. You already melted our home once, and most of the world too. How do you think the Firelands ended up burned and destroyed?
I did that?
Yes, you are the Fire WITHERSTORM. You are the true evil in this world.
Please, I'm going to be nicer. You don't have to do this. He wouldn't listen. I had no other choice. I defeated him with a blue Wither Skull attack. The other ice creatures ran away. I'm sorry. On days 67 to 70, I caught up with some of the other ice mobs that had gone to the crop field. At least they are safe. I saw some ruins in the distance and went to check them out. With the destroyer, I started to dig into the earth until I came upon a vault made of bedrock. Even the destroyer couldn't get through this, probably because of enchantments. I dug around more and found an entrance, but it was guarded. Somehow, this guardian seemed familiar.
I was wondering when you'd show up.
Who are you? And why do I feel like I know you? That's when I received another memory of the past. I saw myself as a fire WITHERSTORM raging across the land. I saw everything on both sides of the river get turned to ash and lava. By my side the whole time was my loyal pack of Cerberus mobs and their leader, Tartarus. The same Tartarus that was standing in front of me, guarding the entrance to the vault. Tartarus?
You remember now?
I don't understand. Why are you guarding the vault, buddy? My true form is inside of there, and I need it to defeat Icemeister.
The only thing you need is to return home and give up on this quest for the legendary block.
I can't do that. People have gotten hurt because of this war.
People have gotten hurt because of you too. I'm here to stop you from becoming your worst self again.
Even if that means Icemeister becomes my worst self instead?
Yes, even if that happens.
Then I'm sorry for what I have to do. As Tartarus and I began to fight, all of his special attacks started to come back to me. I avoided his breath weapon and his breaking claw strikes. I pelted him with Wither Skulls until we clashed head to head. You were really strong, old friend. Sorry again. I drew the destroyer and swung it at him, but he dodged and ran away. Rather than chase after him, I checked the vault for my sealed form. On days 71 to 74, I entered the room that had haunted my dreams. This was definitely where the block that held my true form had been. I said had been because it wasn't there now. Someone had taken it. I felt its call again from far away and realized immediately what had happened. Tartarus must have been keeping the block in his own inventory. He was really determined to keep me from returning to my full self. He's probably on his way to Icemeister right now to hide the block again. I didn't want to have to fight Tartarus again, but if he was with Icemeister, the two of them would be unbeatable at my current level. Dejected, I left the empty vault behind. On days 75 to 78, I asked the Froststalkers I had recruited during the Ice Mob attack what they eat. Like Reginald, the Froststalkers ate fish too, so I used the destroyer to make the pond bigger. All of them will have enough to eat now.
You've really made this place feel like home for me. Have this. I think it'll help.
Reginald gave me a book with an enchantment that could make me take no extra damage from water. Thanks, Reg. This will come in handy next time I cross the river.
You're welcome, pal.
Well, aren't we awfully buddy-buddy?
Oh no, Tartarus!
Seems like you have a new best friend. I should have known you'd leave me behind.
Tartarus, where is my true form?
Doesn't matter. You're not yourself anymore. I'm going to end this bitter memory, once and for all.
He lunged forward. I drew the destroyer. Run, Reginald!
Be careful, Zozo!
The second battle between me and Tartarus began. I could still sense his moves, but he was fighting like I'd never seen him fight before. It took everything I had to keep on fighting, until I struck him down at last.
That was a good hit. You weren't totally different after all.
Tartarus, why?
Listen closely, because I only have time to say this once. I brought Icemeister the legendary block, and he probably still has it.
That means I can get it back from him.
Yes, but pay attention. That sealed block has had its destructive energy reversed through enchantments. That's why all the plants grew so beautifully in that field above. They are all going to wilt away if you don't put it back.
But what about me? My power?
Looks like you'll have to make a difficult decision. I wish you luck.
Tartarus! Tartarus!
Hey, I'll still be there for you. Just absorb me, and I can help.
Okay, I absorbed Tartarus and grew even larger. I was close to a full-size WITHERSTORM now. I had 60 hearts and diamond-level durability. Thanks, buddy. I'll never forget my oldest friend. On day 79 to 84, I crossed the river without the bridge because I was too big to get swept up in the current. I took the forest route, saying hello to my friends the Froststalkers along the way. Hello.
Oh, hey there.
The voice came out of a nearby tree, or should I say, treant. Whoa, I didn't see you there.
Didn't mean to sneak up on ya. I'm the gardener of the field, and I've come to give this Icemeister fella a stern how do you do.
How do you do?
Doing quite well, thank you. Yourself?
I'm actually looking for Icemeister too. Believe it or not, we might be after the same item.
You mean the legendary power source that nourishes our crops?
Yep, I used to want to have it for a different reason, but I've decided it belongs in that vault where it can help people.
I like your thinking. You're not as mean and evil and scary as you look.
Thanks, I guess. I traveled together with the gardener until we saw a formidable fortress of snow and ice on the horizon.
I suppose that must be Icemeister's place. I would keep walking, but I'm pretty tired. You could say I'm bushed.
Same, and I have a feeling that he's not going to make this easy for us to get the block back. How about we return to my base for now and discuss strategy?
I like where your head's at, all three of them.
On days 85 to 89, I told the gardener of the field everything about my journey so far, including how I used to be a bad guy when I was the ruler of the Firelands, and how I was trying to stop the war.
Sounds to me like you've seen and done a lot of things since you first spawned into this world so long ago. Changing into a better person from who you were in the past isn't easy, but that's what growing up is all about.
If only I could make Icemeister understand that. I don't think he'll ever forgive me, and that makes me sad.
Well, to be honest with you, Icemeister and you might never be friends, but there's a lesson in that. You are a being of pure destruction who brings fire down upon the world, while Icemeister creates snowy landscapes and gives a sense of urgency to all the creatures he meets. You two are polar opposites, and this world needs both of you.
Okay, I sorta understand, but how do I stop him from creating war? I just want the mobs to live in peace.
I'll let you in on a little secret, Zozo. I was the one who enchanted that block.
Wait, you helped seal my powers?
Yes, and look how it turned out. Don't you feel free now?
I do, actually.
Well, there is your answer. Together, we will free Icemeister from his ambitions, and the war will come to an end. I'll enchant the new sealing block, but you'll need to gather the raw materials.
Done. On days 90 to 94, I searched high and low for as many emeralds as I could find. After that, I traveled to every village on both sides of the river that would let me in. Sorry, I know I'm scary. Little by little, news spread across the land that I only wanted to trade emeralds for bottles of enchanting. They started treating me like a regular guy, which I really appreciated, even though I was too big to get inside the villages. Throughout my travels, I gathered a whole bunch of bottles of enchantment and returned to the gardener.
These will do. Give me a few days and I'll have the seal ready.
Awesome! With some of the leftover enchantment bottles, I decided to give myself the fire aspect enchantment. It worked! My wither skulls had turned red and could now catch any enemy that they hit on fire. On days 95 to 97, I completed the statue. It had been a statue of TARDIS all along. I didn't even know that when I started building it, but I guess there are some things you never forget, no matter how much you change. My oldest and most loyal friend would now be remembered as a beautiful statue for all to see, and every time I saw the statue, I would remember him.
You've done all right, Zozo. Thank you for remembering me.
Tartarus?
Yep, it's me.
I heard his voice inside of my head. Okay, this is kinda really weird.
Don't worry, I won't be doing this all the time. Just wanted to tell you that I'm proud you chose to put the legendary block back where it truly belongs.
Well, some things are more important than getting back something you lost, or even being the most powerful fire WITHERSTORM in the world.
You'll always be #1 in my book.
Thanks, TARDIS. On day 98, I told the villagers that they could all go home if they wanted to, because very soon, there wouldn't be a war on either side of the river.
But this is our home.
Oh, right. I guess you fire guys can stay. What about you, Icemen?
We're not sure. There were so many great memories in this place. I don't know if we want to leave yet.
Oh, stay as long as you like.
Well, I'm definitely staying.
Of course, Reginald. I wouldn't have it any other way.
You're gonna go fight Icemeister soon, aren't you?
Yeah, buddy. It sure seems that way.
Do your best, okay? And come back safe. This base is not a home without you.
Of course I'll be back. Shortly after that, the gardener walked in with the new enchanted block we'd be using to seal Icemeister's evil side.
Zozo, my boy, it is time. The sealing block is complete. We're going right now to the fortress of Icemeister.
All right, let's go. I said my goodbyes to everyone at the base. This adventure is almost at the most exciting part, so soon I'll be saying goodbye to you too. But don't worry, we'll have lots of other adventures together. Subscribe to the channel and go watch some of my other ones after this. There are so many to enjoy, like the time I spent 100 days as a lava wither. On day 99, the gardener and I returned to the fortress of Icemeister and found that it wasn't guarded at all. Where is everyone?
It looks like you've brought peace to this land after all, Zozo. Must have been all that traveling and trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, and most of all, he has no other mobs to fight for him. This is our chance! I blasted my way in and realized that I wasn't completely correct. There were traps everywhere that shot ice and snow at me and the gardener.
Oh, help! I'm not an evergreen tree. These cold temperatures are going to make my leaves fall off.
Just stay close to me. I'll keep you warm. A trap door opened up beneath us.
No, this is it!
No way! I jumped over the spikes and landed safely on the other side. Then I used my tractor beam to catch the gardener and grapple him to safety.
Thanks. You're using your Fire WITHERSTORM powers for good. Never thought I'd see the day.
You're right. I don't have to be a bad guy, even though I'm fiery and scary. I can help people just the way I am.
Now you know. Let's go get your true form back.
You mean you're letting me have the other block?
Sure. The field only needs one at a time, and you've had your turn. Now it's Ice Meister's turn.
I can't believe I'm going to be returning to my true form after all. This is so exciting. On day 100, the gardener and I came face to face with Ice Meister. He was holding the block that contained my true form. It's over, Ice Meister. Give back what you stole and we'll make this easy.
Easy? You think there's an easy way out of this? I don't think so. You're a Fire WITHERSTORM, and you're bad to the bone. Your path of destruction won't stop as long as you still exist.
No, it stops now. I'm good, and I can prove it to you.
Zozo is telling the truth, Ice Meister. Why don't you call it quits? Our plants need that block.
You mean this block?
Ice Meister held up the block with my true form inside and absorbed it, becoming a terrifying new version of himself. As if that weren't bad enough, Ice Meister also spawned a bunch of other snowmen to attack us.
Seize them, little ones!
The gardener looked at me and held up the new enchanted block.
I'll fire the sealing spell up. You keep him and his minions busy.
You got it. I unleashed all my powers on the miniature snowmen. I made sure to clear all of them out first before facing off against Ice Meister.
You'll never defeat me, Zozo.
I already have. You thought absorbing that power you took from me would help you win, but destructive power like that should only be used responsibly.
And what would you know about that?
More than you'd think. We all get to decide who we are, and I've decided that this is my true form. As soon as I said that, I instantly grew back to full size. I had 180 hearts. Now the playing field was even. While the Ice Meister was distracted, the gardener finished charging his spell.
Zozo, now, move!
I dodged out of the way as a beam shot forth from the block. In an instant, it absorbed Ice Meister's evil form and left behind only a tiny snowball.
I'll get you for this!
Okay, but take your time. Maybe you could be the good guy this time. With the seal set in place, the gardener was able to save the crops at his field. Meanwhile, I went back to my base in the Firelands. It was peaceful for now, and I hoped that would last. Either way, it was a good day to be myself. On day 1, I spawned as an itty-bitty fire Godzilla. This is rad! But wait, I've only got 3 hearts. What? That's not rad at all. But when I focus real hard, I can make little fires. Look, I just set that tree on fire. Uh-oh, it looks like I upset the baboons who were living there. They're coming after me. I better hightail it out of here. I ran off deep into the forest. Being a tiny baby fire Godzilla wasn't working out great for me so far. Maybe if I can get bigger and stronger, I can use my powers to help people, rather than just burn their houses down. That'll help me make some friends around here. Maybe that big, tough, warped Moscow will be my friend. Hey, I'm Zozo. I'm pretty new around here. Wanna hang out?
Hey, not so fast, buddy. You wanna hang out here? You gotta pay the toll. Empty your pockets, little fire Godzilla.
But I don't have any money.
Then I guess you better come with me, Zozo. If you can't pay, you gotta work.
That was another bridge I'd already burned. I needed to run before the warped Moscow could get his big, buggy hands on me. I grabbed a few sticks from the forest and hid in a cave. These would make some pretty good torches with a little bit of my fire, so it won't be too dark in here. I proceeded to place down some torches before deciding to go to sleep for the night. I'm gonna need to get a lot stronger if I want to last out here. This place isn't kind to baby fire Godzillas like me. On day 2, I woke up in the cave to find my torches had gone out overnight. It was so cold and dark. What if there are spiders in here? I should get moving. I left the cave and entered the forest to explore my surroundings. Whoa, this forest is huge! So many trees, so much wood to burn. I needed to be careful in here, or I'd set everything on fire. When I build my own base, it should probably be made out of stone. I needed to break down a couple of these trees and gather some sticks and wood to make a wooden pickaxe. Perfect! This will be great for mining stone. Now I needed to find a good place to build my base. Maybe somewhere around here? Wait, has somebody already built a cabin here? What's happening here?
a druid rushed out of the cabin. Hey, keep your distance, friendo. I just finished this place. I don't need you burning it down. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to burn your cabin down. I just needed to find a place to make my base. Base? What? Are you one of Locknar's guys? What? No, I'm Zozo. Who's Locknar? He's a necromancer. He's trying to raise an army of the dead. He and his boys have been harassing people about money around here lately. The druid returned back into his cabin after bidding me farewell. Money? That sounds just like that warped Moscow from yesterday. He must have worked for this Locknar guy. I better start mining for stone near the druid's cabin. He'd probably make a decent neighbor. By day 3, I started gathering materials for my base. I used my wooden pickaxe to start mining stone in a cave next to the druid's place. Hope he doesn't mind a little construction noise. Hey, keep down that racket, Zozo. I'm reading. Now that I know there's a necromancer out there building an army of the dead, I should probably go pay attention to home security. First of all, I took the time to clear out an area and build a big stone wall. This should keep out that warped Moscow if he tries to hassle me for more money. And I won't be able to accidentally burn this wall down either. While I was at it, I needed to get myself a weapon. Maybe I could use some of my spare sticks and wood to make a wooden sword. Hopefully I don't burn it to a crisp. Now I'm looking well prepared. While I was making my way towards the druid's cabin, I noticed something crawling out of the forest. It looked like an elder skulk. Better take care of it before it gets too close to my base. Don't you know it's rude to trespass, Mr. Skulk? Let's go! Hi-ya! With this sword, the elder skulk was no match for me. After I hit it a few times, skillfully dodging its attempts to hit me back, it went scuttling off into the forest again. Nobody beats Fire Godzilla! And clearly that fight made a big difference, because I was starting to get bigger and stronger. I had 5 hearts now, and I could let out a terrifying Godzilla roar! On days 4 and 5, I decided to go a little further into the forest to mine some more stone for my base. The wall was nice, but it wasn't exactly cozy. I needed a roof over my head. I already used some of my spare stone to make a stone pickaxe. But when I ventured out into the deep part of the woods, I ran into an old enemy, the warped Moscow.
You really thought you could get away without paying the toll? You really have no idea who you're dealing with, kid. You don't want my boss to have a problem with you.
Your boss? Is he a necromancer?
You're smarter than you look, Zozo. My boss, Locknar the Necromancer, he's gonna come take over all this soon enough. And if you're not with him, you're against him.
I'd never be the guy who wants to take over a forest by force. I may burn stuff down sometimes, but I'm still a good guy.
Then I guess I've got to destroy you.
And Moscow came at me so fast, I was knocked back off my feet. I pulled out my wooden sword and tried to parry all of his attacks.
You can't hold me off forever, Zozo.
But I was a little faster than he was. Even with my wooden sword, I was able to get the jump on the warped Moscow and defeat him. Looks like I can handle myself decently now. I should probably spend a little more time out of the forest though. On day 6 to 8, I depleted my mine in the forest. At least I was able to find some iron ore though, and craft myself a cool iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Let's just see someone try to mess with me now. But after getting attacked by the Moscow, I wanted to get away from the forest for a while. I decided to take a trip up to the mountain and enjoy that clean mountain air. And I can't burn anything down up here either. It's perfect. But suddenly, a mountain troll approached me, and it seemed like he didn't want to share the mountain with anyone.
This mountain isn't big enough for the both of us, even if you are the puniest fire Godzilla I've ever seen.
I'm just visiting, man. You don't need to be so mean about it.
How dare you call me mean? I'm gonna crush you into dust for that.
He was so big, and he started chasing me. My only advantage was that I was much faster than him, so I could keep my lead. That's where my iron pickaxe came through. With my iron pickaxe, I quickly mined a big hole in the ground, then carried on running. With my trap set, I decided to taunt the mountain troll by calling him a slowpoke. He ran up to me not looking down, until he fell into the hole, and he couldn't climb back out.
A little help in here?
I think you've earned yourself a timeout, mountain troll. On days 9 and 10, I decided to travel further up into the mountain until I found a mountain cave hidden among the rocks. Maybe there will be some treasures hidden in here. Better take a look. I walked into the cave, iron sword at the ready, using the natural light of my fire to light the way. That's when I hit the jackpot. Gold ore deposits. Now that's what I'm talking about. I started to mine the gold when suddenly, despite my fire, it started to get extremely cold inside of the cave. It sent a chill down my spine.
Hello there, little creature.
I turned, and that's when I saw him right there, staring at me. It was Locknar the Necromancer. Somehow, I could feel the power coming off of him.
It was time for me to even the score and use my Fire Godzilla roar. But Lochnar just laughed in response.
Be quiet, boy. Do you have any idea who you're dealing with? When my army walks the earth, every flame like yours will be snuffed out.
I wasn't gonna take that sitting down. I ran at Lochnar with my iron sword and prepared to hit him. But with one strike from him, I was thrown back across the cave.
You're so weak. It's pathetic. You're not even worth destroying yet. Perhaps when you're a little stronger.
And with a flash, Lochnar was gone, and I was left terrified. If even my Fire Godzilla roar did nothing, what hope did I have against him? But it wasn't all bad. I noticed then that I still wasn't alone in the cave. There was a fire villager waiting in there too. When Lochnar was gone, he ran towards me.
I can't believe you survived. Lochnar has been going after all of the flame creatures in the land.
But why? What have we ever done to him?
He's a necromancer. He's trying to raise an army of the undead. And everyone knows the weakness of the undead is fire. He needs to destroy us because we're the biggest threat to him.
Then you're not safe here either. You better come back to my base so we can figure out a plan to stop this. On days 11 through 14, I started expanding my base to make room for my new fire villager friend. Just like me, he was perfectly suited to a fireproof stone house. I built rooms for him and me, and another room where we could hang out together. But this took a lot of stone, and I soon needed to leave the base and mine more. I returned to the mine near the druid's cabin, and even though it was exhausted, it still contained some materials. While I was gathering more stone, I suddenly felt that cold feeling again. Oh no, does this mean the necromancer is behind me again?
Not quite, Zozo. I'm merely one of his servants. He brought me back to life, so I will serve his every order, including destroying you!
It was the Black Death, a plague doctor brought back from the dead. I drew my sword and prepared to battle, but by then, the Black Death was already on me. He hit me and took out some hearts. This guy was way more powerful than me. I ran further into the mine, hoping to find some kind of escape route. But the Black Death was gaining on me. I needed some kind of advantage. Wait, is that a chest? It was a chest. Maybe something in there can save me. I opened up the chest and found a fire aspect enchantment inside. This would give my sword flaming strikes. Perfect! I quickly used the anvil next to the chest to apply the enchantment to my sword. Take this, Black Death! Boom! That got him. The Black Death was set on fire and went running back out of the cave. Fire really does scare off the undead. Safe from the Black Death for now, I traveled back to my base and started making the wall even taller. But now, knowing just how effective fire was against the undead, I made some flaming torches to put on the wall. This should keep out any uninvited guests. On day 15, I went to check on the fire villager and make sure he was settling in nicely. I know from first-hand experience, it isn't easy to be a fire creature.
I find it very comfortable in here, Zozo. Thank you. It's much nicer than having to stay in some damp old cave all day.
So, tell me, what's the deal with this Lochnar guy? Everyone's been telling me that he's trying to raise some kind of army of the undead. Who is he?
Everything you've heard is true, but there's more. People say that Lochnar is over 1,000 years old, and because he's already dead, he can't be destroyed. Centuries ago, he was defeated by a legendary hero and locked up in the swamp of vileness. But somehow, he came back again, and he's trying to finish what he started all those years ago, making an army of the undead so powerful that he'll rule the world forever.
Can the legendary hero come back to defeat him? It sounds like we really need him right now.
That was a long time ago, Zozo. The legendary hero is probably extremely old now, if he's even alive. No, if we want to defeat Lochnar the Necromancer, we need to find a new hero.
Like who?
Well, like you, Zozo. You survived an encounter with him and saved me back in the cave.
No way. Have you seen me? I'm just a little fire Godzilla. The only reason I survived was because he said I was too weak to be worth destroying. I'd stand no chance against him in a real fight. Do you think I could survive a fight with Lochnar? I think I'd need to get a lot stronger first. On days 16 to 19, I started putting together a plan with the fire villager. If Lochnar is destroying fire creatures because he knows they're a threat to his undead army, we better gather up as many fire creatures as we can.
Great idea, Zozo. If memory serves, Lochnar's undead minions were keeping a Blaze prisoner in an underground cavern near here.
Then I guess I better go rescue him. After hours of searching the forest, I found a secret entrance to an underground area, sneakily hidden among some trees. Hopefully I'm not too late to help the Blaze down there. I rushed through the entrance. I made my way into the insides of the underground cavern and took a look around, trying not to draw too much attention to myself. I saw a lava river running through the bottom of the cavern, so my fire wasn't too out of place here. Wait, are those wither skeletons? They were! A bunch of wither skeletons were scattered everywhere along the path leading deeper into the cavern. They must be guarding the prison cell where the blaze is. I ran in with my new fire aspect sword and started to fight them off as I went deeper and deeper into the cavern. After I took most of them, I unleashed my fire Godzilla roar. It scared some of the wither skeletons so bad, they ran off faster than their bones could shake. Clearly, all of this fighting was worth some pretty great XP, because I grew to almost twice my size, with almost twice the armor and twice the hearts. Maybe I can be strong enough to take on Lochnar, with the right training. But first, I broke open the prison with my iron pickaxe and freed the blaze.
Thanks for getting me out of there. It was really starting to get stuffy.
Don't mention it, buddy. How did you get captured?
Well, I was out here searching for the Kyther of Light when I got ambushed by all those skeletons.
You were looking for what?
The Kyther of Light. It's the weapon that the legendary hero used to defeat Lochnar all those years ago. It's said to be the most powerful weapon against the undead in the world.
Oh, wow. Then I should probably start looking for it too. Come back to my base. I want to know more. On days 20 to 22, Blaze and I returned to the base, only to see it being attacked by a horde of zombies. Even the torches I'd added to the walls didn't seem to scare them off. Lochnar was making some really tough undead for us to face. Thankfully, with Blaze at my side, the fight didn't last long. With his flames and my fire sword, we were able to take on the zombies and send them back from whence they came. So long, you undead meanies.
It feels so good to be free and fighting again.
Glad you're back in the groove, Blaze. But while the zombies weren't too difficult to defeat, this incident did make me realize our base needed some better defense. Or at least something to scare off potential attackers. That's when I had a great idea for the statue. The perfect thing to keep the undead away. I started working on the base of the statue with excitement. This is sure to keep the mobs at bay once it's done. Can you tell what it's gonna be? And if you want more adventures like this, subscribe to Zozo, because believe me, the best is yet to come. With Blaze here at the base, I've still got to do one more thing, add a new room for him. With me, Blaze, and the Fire Villager all together, we're a fiery force to be reckoned with. On days 23 to 26, the base came under attack worse than ever before. I woke up to find the base surrounded by mutant skeletons, who were bigger, faster, and stronger than even wither skeletons. I ran out with my fire aspect sword and started attacking them, one by one. Each mutant skeleton took several hits with the sword to down. These guys were tougher than any grunt enemy I'd faced so far. A little help here, guys? Luckily for me, Blaze and the Fire Villager were there to help. With the three of us working together, we were able to drive off the remaining mutant skeletons back into the woods. That'll teach you to attack our base, skellies. Oh look, one of the mutant skeletons dropped a bow. That's perfect. I needed a good long-range weapon for my arsenal. What should I do next?
Zozo!
Yes, Blaze?
Now we fought off the mutant skeletons, you should start exploring the deep dark woods for the Kyther of Light. We need it to defeat Lochnar the Necromancer.
Good idea, Blaze. I journeyed out into the deepest, darkest part of the forest, knowing it would be the exact kind of place where Lochnar's minions would be waiting for me. And I was right, but I wasn't the only one. There was a fire elemental being surrounded by mutant zombies. The strongest zombies yet. Lucky for me, I had my new bow. I pulled it out, keeping a distance as I fired arrows at the mutant zombies. They seemed so shocked by my surprise attack, they retreated further into the dark of the forest. I'd saved the fire elemental. Want to come back to my base, little buddy? I'm collecting fire creatures. He seemed eager, so we headed back to the base. I built a new room to house the fire elemental, and built in a new base defense. Large holes dug into the ground around the base, so any stumbling zombies thinking of attacking would fall right in. I'm feeling safer already. On days 27 to 31, I started off by asking Blaze to tell me everything he knows about the Kyther of Light, seeing as it may be our best chance to defeat Lochnar the Necromancer.
It's an ancient weapon, Zozo, supposedly created by a powerful group of sorcerers, for if there was ever a great evil they needed to strike down. The legend goes that only someone pure of heart can wield the Kyther. To a being of evil, it's useless.
But how can I find it? Even the most powerful weapon in the world is only useful if it's in our hands.
Perhaps the legendary hero would have hidden the Kyther in the last place the undead would think to look, the Nether.
Oh no, the Nether? That's one of the most dangerous places out there. I guess if it's the only place I can find the Kyther, it's off to the Nether I go. With my sword and my bow, I set off for an old Nether portal in the woods. It's now or never. Yeah, bad joke, sorry. On the other side of the portal, it was all flames and lava. A fire Godzilla honestly looked kind of at home here. What didn't look at home was a huge, scary pigless running straight towards me.
You must be Zozo. I guess you're here looking for the Kyther of Light. Brave kid.
And I guess you're here to find the Kyther too, before I can find it.
You're a smart kid too, but I've got orders direct from Lochnar. Only one of us is leaving the Nether. Let's go.
I tried to draw my bow, but the pigless was too fast for me. I was lucky enough to pull out my sword just in time to counter his attack. Before he knew it, I hit him back and eventually managed to hit him in a way and made him touch lava. And due to that, he screamed a bit and moved away.
You're tougher than you look, but I'll get you next time, you little twerp.
And with that, he ran off into the depths of the Nether. On days 32 to 35, I traveled deeper into the Nether, leaving the wastes and entering the Crimson Forest. Wow, this place is super scary. If the legendary hero really hid the Kyther here, he must have been one tough warrior. The Nether has some of the scariest mobs around, but I was surprised to see a familiar face amongst all the trees and lava. It was a baboon, just like the one I met on my first day here.
Hey, aren't you the one who burned down my tree?
I'm sorry, Mr. Baboon. It was an accident. I'm a fire Godzilla. Sometimes I burn stuff down.
Whatever. It doesn't matter now. What are you doing in the Crimson Forest?
I'm looking for the Kyther of Light to defeat Lochnar, the Necromancer.
Wait, you too? He attacked my family with some zombies. I heard the Kyther might be hidden in the Soul Sand Desert. Let's travel together. We have better odds.
Sounds good to me, Mr. Baboon. We traveled together to the Soul Sand Desert, which was every bit as bleak and barren as the name suggests. I then noticed Lochnar, the Necromancer, standing on top of a floating island.
Hello again, Zozo, was it? Nothing about you was particularly memorable.
You're all smug now, Lochnar, but you won't be when we find the Kyther and defeat you.
You won't be able to find anything when you're dead.
Suddenly, the ground below me and Mr. Baboon began to shake. I drew my bow and fired at Lochnar, but he didn't even flinch. It was useless. If we couldn't escape, we'd be done for. That's when I had an idea. I turned and fired my bow at one of the ghast. That should get the attention of him and his ghastly friends. With Lochnar preoccupied with the ghast, Mr. Baboon and I ran away, back towards the Nether portal.
That was some quick thinking back there, Zozo. You really saved our skins.
I couldn't have done it without you. Come back to the base with me. You can join our anti-Lochnar squad. And with that, we exited the Nether. On days 36 to 39, I returned back to the base with the baboon. I built him a little treehouse because he didn't find the stone fortress as comfy as me and my fire creature friends. I gathered my new basemates together, the fire villager, Blaze, the fire elemental, and the baboon. I needed to hear their thoughts on my hunt for the Kyther. It wasn't in the Nether Wastes, the Crimson Forest, or the Soul Sand Desert. If the Kyther really is hidden in the Nether, where could it be?
You're telling me you didn't check the Basalt Deltas?
The Basalt Deltas? What's that?
It's the most dangerous place in the Nether, Zozo. If the legendary hero really didn't want the Kyther to be found, that'd be the best place to hide it.
The most dangerous place in the Nether? I can't go there yet. The rest of the Nether was already dangerous enough. If the Kyther was really in the Basalt Deltas, I needed to get stronger to get there, and I needed a little more inspiration. That's why I started working more on the statue. I must say, it's coming along quite nicely. From days 40 to 43, Blaze approached me, knowing I was feeling nervous about going back into the Nether.
Look, Zozo, the Nether is a scary place. I know, I used to live there. But sometimes, when you can't fight your way through, you need to sneak.
But Blaze, I can't sneak. I'm a fire Godzilla. I'm too easy to spot.
I know, but that's where my new plan comes in. There's a potion recipe hidden in a book I left in a lava canyon near here. If you can go get it for me, I'll make you a potion you'll find extremely useful.
So that's exactly what I did. I found my way to the underground lava canyon. It was really hot down there, but thankfully, fire Godzillas don't mind the heat. There had to be a chest down there somewhere. If someone left a book down here on its own, it'd just burn up. But my thoughts were interrupted when suddenly a huge serpent tried to grab me. It was a heck of a jump scare. I'm not on the menu, so slither on by, you reptile. I managed to hit it and knock it into the fiery depths below. That will teach you to mess with a fire Godzilla. As I continued to explore, I saw the chest tucked away in a corner. Let's take a look inside. A book! Jackpot! I then proceeded to leave the lava canyon and make my way back to the base. I gave the book over to Blaze, and he made me a potion.
This right here is a potion of invisibility. It might make your journey into the Basalt Deltas a little less dangerous.
Thanks, Blaze. This is perfect. On days 40 to 49, I made my way back to the Nether portal deep in the forest. Here goes nothing. After landing in the Nether, I made my way through to the basalt deltas. My friends weren't kidding when they said this place was dangerous. It looks impossible to even build here. I took the potion of invisibility and started to sneak through. There were sheer cliffs everywhere. I had to be careful so that I didn't fall.
Help me, please. Someone help me.
Oh no, is that an illager? What's he doing in here? And why is he surrounded by endermen? I can't just leave him like that. I need to help him, even if it means wasting my invisibility. Still keeping my distance, I pulled out my bow. I opened fire at the endermen, causing them to teleport away. That gave me a window to get the illager out of there. Come with me if you want to live. Me and the illager ran for the hills until we were out of the basalt delta and back in the much safer Soul Sand Valley.
Thank you, kind stranger. You saved me. How can I ever repay you?
You can tell me everything you know about the Kyther of Light. I need it to defeat Lochnar the Necromancer.
Wait, the Kyther of Light? That reminds me of an old poem I used to hear all the time when I was a kid. Who seeks the Kyther, brave and true, venture into the forest blue.
The forest blue. Wait, that sounds like the warped forest. It's the only place in the Nether I haven't checked. Come with me, we'll go find it. On days 50 to 53, me and my new friend the illager made our way into the warped forest, one of the slightly nicer parts of the Nether. I might have even enjoyed it if we weren't ambushed by that pigless I fought earlier.
Hey, looky here. It's that dweeb, Zozo.
Name calling? Really? That's just uncalled for, man.
No, Zozo. What's uncalled for is you being here. Me and the rest of Lochnar's boys have already found the Kyther, and it's far away from here. You're gonna get destroyed in the Nether for nothing.
That's it. You're going down, Pigless. But Pigless pulled a dirty trick. He didn't go for me. He went straight for the illager, taking him down immediately. No, you can't do that.
I can do whatever I want. Let's tango, Zozo.
We clashed again, but this time I was stronger than before. I dodged his attacks easily, and with a few well-placed strikes from my fire sword, Pigless was done for. With him gone, I was all alone in the Nether again. Maybe Pigless had lied about them taking the Kyther. I had to explore and find out. There was a bastion remnant, an ancient ruined fortress nearby, and it seemed like the exact kind of place the legendary hero might have hidden the Kyther. Instead, all I found was a great beast, cowering in the shadows.
Is the Pigless gone? That guy dragged me along with him to help him find the Kyther. Most of the rest of our team was destroyed by nether mobs. It was horrible.
It's okay, I defeated the Pigless. You said he made you work for him. Do you have any idea where they may have taken the Kyther?
Tough to say. I think Pigless mentioned something about taking it back to the camp. He probably meant the one in the wasteland, back outside the Nether.
Perfect, so at least I know where to look next. Let's get out of here.
Wait, before you go, you deserve a reward for taking out that jerk Pigless. I was gonna use it myself, but here, it's a knockback enchantment. Your strikes will knock back your enemies now.
Oh, finally, some good luck. From days 54 to 57, I returned to my base and started making some adjustments. I added some guard towers so that we could spot any incoming threats faster. Just as I finished repairing and adding the knockback enchantment to my iron sword, the fire villager staying in the base approached me, looking very worried.
Zozo, I need a hand. I've been looking into it, and I've seen that a mutant zombie is skulking out in the forest outside. You should probably go take care of it while I'm working on an extremely important potion.
This would be the perfect opportunity to try my new knockback ability. I ran out into the forest, and just as the fire villager had told me, there was a mutant zombie making its way towards our base. I needed to put a stop to it. Come on, mutant zombie, you're no match for me. And I was right. With the knockback enchantment on my fire sword, I defeated it in no time and headed back to the base.
Great work, Zozo. And here's your reward. I made a potion of slow falling. When you take it, it eliminates fall damage. You never know when that'll come in handy.
On days 58 to 62, I continued work on the statue. I was really pleased with how it was coming along. Can you guess what it is yet? Suddenly, I heard the baboon yell out in panic from his treehouse.
Guys, something is coming towards us.
I looked out and saw a mob coming towards us. Creepers, courtesy of Lochnar the Necromancer. This is bad, this is really bad. But before we could do anything, the first wave of creepers had already hit. Several of them exploded, taking out huge chunks of the defensive wall, and others started crawling through the new gaps. I decided to rush in and finally get rid of the creeper menace. They started exploding again, taking out chunks of the base. By the time I managed to turn the tide of the fight, huge portions of our base had already been destroyed. When I had the advantage, the last surviving creeper ran off back into the forest. The fight was over. For now. We need to start rebuilding immediately. Blaze, fire villager. Wait, where's Baboon? That's when we realized the creepers had blown up Baboon's treehouse with Baboon inside of it. From days 63 to 66, hungry for fiery vengeance, I followed the last remaining creeper back into the woods. You and your friends aren't going to get away with destroying Mr. Baboon! I chased him into the forest and saw him disappear down into an underground cavern. I was so angry, I didn't even think about how dangerous it could be to chase a creeper into an enclosed place. I hopped down into the cavern, but the creeper was nowhere to be seen. Instead, I found a book laying on the ground containing a secret note. Invade the base and destroy them all. Any survivors must return to the camp in the desert. G-O-A-W. G-O-A-W? Who's that? Wait, the camp in the desert. That's where they must be keeping the Kyther of Light. It was only then that I looked up and saw the creeper crawling quickly towards me. No time to think. On pure instinct, I pulled out my bow and fired. Boom! The creeper exploded, taking out a portion of the cavern. Lucky for me, thanks to the quick reflexes, I was out of the blast zone. From days 67 to 70, I traveled for 2 days all the way out to the desert. It was a really tough journey, but by the end, I finally saw the camp. It was a cabin surrounded by campfires, with a ghostly figure floating around it. It looked like the ghost of an ancient warrior. Lochnar the Necromancer must be able to raise skeletons, zombies, and ghosts. Wait, ghost of ancient warrior? That must be G-O-A-W, the one who wrote the note. He must be a pretty big deal. As I got close, I noticed there was a gorge in the desert just outside the camp. Better not fall in. I drew my bow and fired at the ghost, but predictably, the arrow went straight through him. That's when he threw through the air and lunged at me. He didn't even talk, he was all action. I managed to dodge and strike back with my sword, but he parried. This guy was a better fighter than anyone I'd ever faced. I didn't even know if I could defeat him. That's when I had an idea. If I'm not strong enough to beat him yet, I can still trick him. Before he could attack me again, I quickly drank my potion of slow falling. Then, when he attacked me again, I jumped back and fell into the gorge. To him, it looked like I fell to my doom, but thanks to the potion, I was just fine. When the ghost finally floated away, I climbed back up to the top. Kyther of Light, here I come! On days 71 to 74, I was finally able to make my way into the cabin being guarded by the ghost of the ancient warrior. Except, the Kyther wasn't there. The cabin was empty. All I heard was the echoing laughter of Lochnar the Necromancer. He was always a few steps ahead. Once again, it all been for nothing. I made the long trek back to my damaged base, empty-handed. On days 75 to 78, I came back to the base and noticed how damaged it really was. It was still heavily damaged from the creeper assault, and I needed to start the repairs immediately, so I did just that. But I felt terrible knowing that now Mr. Baboon is gone, I didn't need to rebuild the treehouse. As I finished up the repairs, the fire villager approached me.
Hey Zozo, I just wanted to say I'm sorry you didn't find the Kyther, but I know you're strong enough to beat Lochnar anyway. I figured this might help.
That's when he handed me a diamond sword with fire aspect, the strongest weapon I'd ever had my hands on. Wow, thanks Fire Villager! It may not be the Kyther of Light, but it's the next best thing. And it turns out that the diamond sword couldn't have come at a better time, because suddenly, the ghost of the ancient warrior had returned, and he was flying at me. Guess it's time for a rematch. But this time, I didn't need any cheap tricks to take him down. Using my new diamond sword, I dodged his blows and struck him again and again, until he burst into ghost vapor and disappeared. I immediately started growing larger and larger, as well as doubling my hearts. But it wasn't just that. With my new size, I gained Godzilla strength, making all my close-range attacks 3 times as powerful. Just then, the fire villager ran up to me.
You did it, Zozo! You defeated the ghost of the ancient warrior! That's amazing! Wait, Zozo, I found this where the ghost vaporized.
It looks like a notebook. The latest note read, Lochnar is nearly at his full power. The final arrangements are being put into place. Destroy Zozo and the druid. Wait, the druid from the cabin? He's involved in this too? On days 79 to 84, I knocked on the door of the druid's cabin to find out how he was involved in all of this. Just like when I first met him, he wasn't eager to have me as a visitor.
Keep your distance, Fire Godzilla. You're even bigger than last time, and my house is very flammable.
I don't want to burn your house down, druid, but I know someone who does. I've seen instructions from Lochnar the Necromancer. He wants to destroy me and you. What does he have against you?
Ugh, Lochnar again? I thought I was done with that guy.
What do you mean?
I defeated him a few hundred years ago and sealed him away. I figured he'd stay gone for good, but I guess not.
Wait, does that mean you're the legendary hero?
I was, sure, but then I retired to become a druid. It's a much easier life. And besides, you should be fine. As long as you have the Kythar, he won't be that hard to defeat. But he has the Kythar. Oh, okay. This could be bad. After our conversation, the druid led me back out into the forest to find another nether portal. He'd hid another weapon in the nether all those years ago as backup, if ever the Kythar fell into the wrong hands. But when we arrived at the side of the portal, it had already been destroyed.
This isn't good. If Lochnar destroyed the nether portal, it means he doesn't need it anymore. He's reaching the full height of his powers.
What do we do now?
Well, from where I'm standing, the only option is to...
An arrow shot out of the woods, hitting the druid and destroying him before he could even finish his sentence. No, this can't be happening! I turned to see a small gang of skeletons emerge out of the thicket behind us. As they ran at me, I made short work of them with my diamond fire sword. But now, I was out of options and out of time. There was only one thing left to do. I need to find the Swamp of Vileness and destroy Lochnar myself. On days 85 to 89, I made my way out to the snowy landscapes of the north, where I finally found the great beast I'd met back in the nether. As far as I could tell, he would be the only one who could tell me where to find the Swamp of Vileness and finally track down Lochnar the Necromancer himself.
I know where to find it, but it won't be easy. It's beyond the forest, but you can only go at night. And that's the thing. That creep is strongest at night. So if you're gonna take him on, you better be well defended.
That's a useful tip. Thanks, Great Beast. From days 90 to 94, I decided to take the Great Beast's advice and armor up. I used my iron pickaxe to mine some diamonds and turned them into a full set of diamond armor, helmet, chestplate, leggings, and boots. But I didn't want to stop there. I needed some enchantments to really make sure I could take a punch from Lochnar and his evil army of the undead. I gave myself the protection enchantment. That makes my armor twice as durable against close range attacks, and projectile protection, which kept me safe from ranged attacks. Let's see Lochnar take me on now. From days 95 to 97, I finally finished the statue. Its flame could be seen from miles away and should keep all the bad mobs away from my base once and for all. It was a beacon of hope for all fire mobs, a bright, brilliant beacon that could be seen from miles away. And that's when I realized why I had to take on Lochnar and his undead minions. I could either use my fire powers to destroy, like when I accidentally burned down Mr. Baboon's tree, or I could use it to be a beacon of hope, to fight back against evil whenever I can, because it's the right thing to do. So it's exactly what I was going to do. On day 98, I spoke to the fire villager in Blaze about my plan to attack the Swamp of Vileness and finally take down Lochnar.
You can't do this alone, Zozo. You're strong, but Lochnar is so powerful, and he has an entire army.
He's right, Zozo. Why don't you let us come with you? Surely we'll be stronger together.
I can't put you at risk like that. You need to stay here as backup, in case Lochnar defeats me and his undead army escapes. But I can't let that happen. Trust me, no matter what, I'm going to defeat Lochnar and put an end to his evil reign of terror. With that, I exited the base, but was suddenly stopped by someone I haven't met before. Can I help you? He said nothing and dropped me a note and left. The note said, if you want to help me defeat Lochnar, you should subscribe to Zozo and check out our other adventures. You can even suggest what you want to see next down in the comments. Alright. I'm sure with the help of you guys, I'll actually manage to defeat Lochnar. On day 99, following the instructions of the Great Beast, I made my way to the Swamp of Vileness in the dead of night. It was every bit as creepy as I'd imagined. Mist hung low, the mossy skeletons, minions of Lochnar, were patrolling back and forth. I didn't have any more potions of invisibility. I needed to fight my way through. Okay, Skellies, come get me. I want to speak to your manager. That got their attention. Suddenly, waves of mossy skeletons started running at me, while others fired bows at me from a distance. Thankfully, with my enchanted diamond armor, I could deflect most of the damage, and my enchanted diamond sword could destroy them in one strike each. But that wasn't the problem. The mossy skeletons may have been weak, but every single time I defeated them, more just kept coming out of the fog. Don't you guys know when to quit?
They are the least of your worries, Zozo.
It was Lochnar. I could hear his voice, but I couldn't see him. It was like he was everywhere around me.
If you survive this onslaught, come a little further and meet me in my crypt. It'll be the last thing you ever do.
I wasn't going to let him get away with that. No matter how many skeletons he threw at me, I'd keep fighting to the very end. With my sword at the ready and my flames brighter than ever, I moved in towards the crypt of Lochnar.
On day 100, I fought through the mossy skeletons and reached the crypt, which looked like a big, rickety pile of ancient stone. But there were stronger enemies waiting for me there. Mutant skeletons and mutant zombies came running at me, but my sword was ready. I hit them again and again, sending one after another down. But just like the mossy skeletons, more of them kept coming. I'm really starting to get sick of you guys. I unleashed a mighty fire Godzilla roar that could be heard across all of the Swamp of Vileness, and it knocked out all of the undead at once. It was just me in the crypt, so I pulled out my iron pickaxe and started destroying it, just to spite Lochnar. But just then, I fell down deeper into the crypt. Oh my gosh, there it is! That's the Kyther of Light! This is where he's been keeping it! I grabbed the Kyther. Now, I was ready to take on Lochnar.
I wouldn't be so confident, Zozo.
Boom! Lochnar appeared behind me, more powerful than he'd ever been before.
Do you really think you can beat this?
Lochnar began to grow as his power increased, becoming a huge, monstrous super necromancer. Like this, he really did look like he could take over the world. But I wasn't done yet. And do you really think you can beat this? I summoned up all of my power and channeled it. My flames got brighter as I grew, taking in the power of the Kyther of Light. I became Ultra Fire Godzilla with 30 hearts and almost unbreakable armor.
You can't do this. It isn't fair.
Life isn't fair, Lochnar. Let's go. Lochnar threw everything at me, hitting me again and again, but getting nothing. Now it's my turn. With one mighty swing of the Kyther, with all my power behind it, Lochnar was destroyed once and for all, never to raise another undead minion again. Safe at last, I returned to the base to celebrate with the Fire Villager and Blaze. Things were finally looking up for all of us. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a slippery, fiery fire eel. I'm one spicy unagi, but I wouldn't be very filling. I'm only a baby eel, but I'm sure I could still pack a fiery punch. I breathed a jet of fire, one of my awesome fire eel starter powers. I was feeling super confident about what the next 100 days could hold. But my confidence didn't last for long, because a huge dread beast came running across the Badlands towards me. There was no way he was up to anything good. Still, I tried my best to be polite. Hey there, dread beast. I'm Zozo. It's nice to meet you. What a lovely day we're having, right?
Yes, a lovely day. Even lovelier now that I've found you. A delicious fire eel.
Wait, what? What do you mean delicious?
I am the all-devouring dread beast, Zozo. All that matters to me is finding and eating tasty things, because I'm always hungry.
Oh no.
And don't even think about slithering away, little eel. I love fast food.
But I slithered away anyway, going as fast as I could. There was no way I was going to be devoured by a dread beast on my very first day in the overworld. But I don't think that nasty dread beast is gonna quit either. I need to get strong enough to beat that monster, or I worry I'm gonna spend 100 days preparing to become its lunch. On day 2, I kept slithering until I finally found a place in the Badlands to stop and catch my breath. It's not exactly the most hospitable place to spawn. Then again, given that I'm a fire eel, it's probably better than spawning somewhere cold. And hey, at least I have 10 hearts. I realized that all that talk about eating me had, weirdly, made me kind of hungry. These will make for a perfect snack. I busted down the tree and started eating those delicious crunchy apples, feeling my hunger bar replenish. That's when I felt something that a fire eel should never want to feel, the cold. I turned and saw that it was because a ghost was floating right behind me.
Give in, Zozo. To be devoured by the mighty dread beast is your destiny.
What? You don't even have anything to do with that. You're just some random ghost. Why would you want the dread beast to eat me?
You're so foolish, Zozo. I have everything to do with it. I was a villager once, and then the dread beast ate me. I came back as a ghost, forever enslaved to his will.
That's terrifying. I'm sorry, Mr. Ghost, but there's no way I'm letting that happen to me. I turned and ran for my life in the opposite direction. That spooky ghost and his master/eater had already freaked me out enough for one day. When I came to a stop, alone in the middle of the Badlands, I was exhausted and honestly felt like crying. That's when I was approached by a surprisingly friendly Gorgon.
Hey, little buddy, you look sad. I'm Grace. Grace the Gorgon. Why don't you come with me? I can help you out.
That sounds nice. Thank you. I've had a really hard day.
Oh, don't I know it? Come with me. I'll take you to a friend of mine's place. You'll be safe there.
On day 3, Grace the Gorgon and I traveled through the Badlands until we found a small shack with a troll waiting outside. But rather than posting mean comments on the internet, he seemed happy to see us. Grace the Gorgon hung back while I approached to get acquainted with the cheerful troll.
The name's Terry. Terry the Troll. You look like you seen a ghost, fella.
I have seen a ghost, actually, and it was the ghost of one of the past victims of a giant monster that wants to eat me.
Whoa, that's heavy, man. A monster wants to eat ya. That sounds like something the Dread Beast would do.
Yes, the Dread Beast! That's the one! Is there anything I could do to stop that awful monster from eating me?
Isn't it obvious? You're gonna need to slay it. Get it before it gets you. You get me?
Slay the Dread Beast? That doesn't sound like it's gonna be easy.
Sure, it won't be easy, but is anything worth doing ever easy? Get out there, make a base, get some allies who will work with you. It'll be tough, and it'll take time, but the way I see it, little fire eel, it's the only way you're gonna get out of this.
Well, an eel's gotta do what an eel's gotta do. Thanks for the advice, Terry. I'm gonna try my best to get strong enough and make enough allies to defeat the Dread Beast. From day 4 to day 5, Grace the Gorgon and I went deeper into the Badlands until we found an area that looked like it'd be perfect for building a base.
But you're gonna need some tools first, Zozo. Maybe start out by gathering some wood.
Good idea, Grace. I used what little baby eel strength I had to break down a tree and collect the wood for building a wooden pickaxe. It's mining time! And then I mined into the ground, collecting enough stone to build myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. But I didn't stop there. I continued gathering stone until I had enough to build myself a basic base with 2 rooms. One for me and one for Grace the Gorgon.
These rooms both look awesome, Zozo.
Thank you. It wasn't easy to build them, but I'm glad I did. Out of curiosity, Grace, why did you choose to stay with me?
Because I hate bullies, and I wasn't going to leave you out there, vulnerable to the Dread Beast. We'll stick together and win this thing.
Oh, you're the best, Grace. And that moment was so heartwarming. My hearts grew twice as big. Literally, I was bigger, stronger, had 20 hearts, and I gained an awesome new ability, shooting flaming wither skulls. Ah, yeah, that's more like it. From day 6 to day 8, I ventured out to a new location, the Basalt Barrera. It's nice to take a load off and see new places. It takes my mind off the fact that a terrifying monster wants to eat me alive. Oh no, now I'm thinking about it again. But I didn't have any more time to stand around feeling anxious because the same ghost that was hassling me earlier emerged out of the trees.
Zozo, I found you.
I really wish you'd unfind me.
You still have your sense of humor. Good. You'll need that when you're a ghost. The days are dark and the nights are long. It will never end.
Actually, it's gonna end for you right now. I was sick of being chased away by monsters, so I unleashed my fire breath onto the ghost, weakening him and making him physical before finishing him off with my stone sword. Nobody's eating me. I won't allow it. My battle with the ghost must have caught the attention of a Cyclops who was wandering through the Basalt Barrera. He immediately approached me with an offer.
Name's Sid. Sid the Cyclops. I may not have great depth perception, but I can see a real strength in ya. Think you can do a job for me? I got a local freaky customer who needs attending to.
Sure, I'll give it the old fire eel try. From day 9 to day 10, I went out to a remote part of the Basalt Barrera with Sid the Cyclops following close behind. Who exactly do you want me to fight here, Sid?
Believe me, when you see him, you'll know.
And Sid was right. The second I saw him, I did know. It was a huge, frightening Dread Knight. I could see why Sid didn't want to take him on himself. Well, here goes nothing. I ran in and faced the Dread Knight alone.
Doth thou wish to challenge me, knave?
Oh yeah, consider yourself challenged.
'Tis a battle then.
I fought the Dread Knight, but none of my attacks seemed to do any damage. The fight seemed hopeless, and in the end, all I could do was turn and run. I met back up with Sid the Cyclops, not far from the site of the battle. I'm not strong enough to take on this Dread Knight yet, Sid, but until I am, how about you come and hang out at my base?
Just sounds like a gas. Let's go.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Sid the Cyclops. I got to work on building him a new room right alongside the rooms I'd built for myself and Grace. By the time I was done, Sid looked delighted.
I've always wanted a second home. This is a big deal for me. I feel like a celebrity or something.
I'm glad you like it, Sid. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home.
Well, it's not quite as humble now. Go take a look at some upgrades I created while you were building my bedroom.
I took a look at the upgrades, and I was extremely impressed. He'd built a furnace, which would allow me to smelt ores into ingots for building weapons and armor. And he'd also built a storage room where I could store more weapons and resources. Speaking of resources, I'm hungry. I should probably find a way to keep my food supply sustainable. To that end, I started herding some chickens from the surrounding badlands and created a small farm with some coops to keep them for eggs and chicken. And now, it's time to put that furnace to good use. I searched until I found a deep cave, and inside, it didn't take me long to find a nice vein of iron ore. I mined it with my stone pickaxe until I had enough to take back. I returned to my base and smelted the ore into iron ingots. With the help of a few leftover sticks, I made myself an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. This will give me something to put in the storage room too. From day 13 to day 15, I started feeling antsy, thinking about the fact that the dread beast was out there, biding its time, waiting for the right moment to strike. I realized that I needed to get stronger, so I returned to Grace the Gorgon for some advice on what I should do next.
One of the biggest sources of the dread beast's power is the legion of ghosts created from his former meals. The more of them you can free from their bounds on the overworld, the weaker he'll be. I actually think there's another one near here at the Basalt Barrera.
Because Grace always seemed to be right, I ventured out to the Basalt Barrera, and exactly as she'd predicted, there was one of the dread beast's ghostly servants waiting for me. Looks like I have my work cut out for me here. Through a mix of my fire attacks and the work of my strong new iron sword, I was able to defeat the ghost. It even dropped a potion of strength on the ground, which I picked up and drank. Wait, I can feel something happening. Suddenly, I started to grow, getting bigger and feeling my number of hearts grow to 30. I also experienced additional damage on every single one of my attacks. Grace was right, I'm much stronger already. This really was the trip out here. From day 16 to day 19, I went out to the bayou as a test of my courage. It was dangerous to wander around there with so much water everywhere. Still, what's life without a little risk here and there? I can't be a truly powerful fire eel if I'm not brave. But this journey was more valuable than just building up my confidence. While I was slithering along, I discovered a strange old book of fairy tales and decided to give it a read. Man's hunger for wealth and power once unlocked darker and deeper hungers. Greedy miners who wanted diamonds and gold dug deeper than they should and uncovered the monstrous dread beast, a creature with a hunger to devour the whole world. Wow, so that's where the dread beast came from. I wonder what I can do with this information. But I didn't have time to ponder on this for too long because I looked up and saw another eerie ghost floating toward me out of the darkness of the bayou.
You can't escape, Zozo. I thought I could escape. I was so silly. He ate me like he ate all the others. He'll eat you too, Zozo. He'll eat you too.
I vaporized the ghost with a wither skull and then ran out of there. I didn't feel like spending any more time in the bayou that day. From day 20 to day 22, I went back into the mining cave to collect a little more iron ore before returning to my base and smelting it into iron ingots. I've got some cool weapons and tools. Now it's time to get myself some awesome armor. I made an iron chestplate, which, admittedly, you couldn't actually see on my fire eel body, but would provide me some valuable defensive abilities anyway. I'm stronger than I've ever been, but now it's time to use that strength for good. There's an old score I have to settle. I returned again to the Basalt Barrera with one thing on my mind, finally defeating the Dread Knight. When I found him again, I pulled out my sword and squared up to him.
Dost thou return to fight me, you sad little fire eel? You cannot destroy that which has already been destroyed.
What does that even mean?
Once upon a time, I was a knight, a brave and powerful knight. I battled many a monster and believed that I could also slay the dread beast. But I was wrong, terribly, terribly wrong. The dread beast devoured me, and now my soul is bound to his. I'm a shade of my former self.
Then let me free you from this terrible state, Dread Knight. I fired a wither skull at the Dread Knight, then ran in to battle him directly. With my new skills and my iron sword, I was able to hold my own against the Dread Knight and eventually destroy him. Rest well, tragic knight. I'll avenge you and all the others.
Oh, will you now?
I turned with horror to see the Dread Beast itself standing close behind me. Even with my new strength, he still looked just as frightening.
Tasty, tasty little eel. It's almost time, Zozo. I'm getting so hungry I can barely control myself.
I didn't want to stick around and see if the dread beast could keep a leash on his appetite. Instead, I just turned and ran away as quickly as I could. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base to tell Sid the Cyclops that I had managed to defeat the Dread Knight and free him from his torment in the process.
Zozo, how did the go, my guy?
The Dread Knight won't be bothering you anymore. I don't feel much like celebrating about it though. He was just as much a victim of the Dread Beast as me. He's really, really evil.
Evil is as evil does, I guess. What can we do about it?
We can help each other. We can fight back.
I like where your head's at, kid. But where do we start?
I should probably upgrade my gear. If I want to do that, I'd better get mining. I headed down into the mining cave to see what I could find. I managed to gather some iron ingots, and I took them back to my base and smelted them, making an iron helmet. I feel tougher already. Then Grace the Gorgon approached me.
I heard what you did for the Dread Knight. That was an amazing start. As a thank you for your hard work, I've added an improvement to the base that I believe you'll approve of. It's a security bunker, a safe place to retreat to in the event of an ambush by the Dread Beast or one of his ghostly army.
Awesome, thank you! From day 27 to day 31, I went back out to the bayou, equipped with my new helmet and a renewed sense of purpose. I was a little worried I would run into another ghost, but instead, a big friendly panda came ambling up to me.
I heard you're the guy who got rid of that ghost who was terrorizing us out in these parts. Thank you kindly for that.
Of course! Are there any more ghosts out here?
None that I've seen, but if you're offering help, I sure could use a place to stay. See, that nasty ghost critter tore my house right up. Any chance you've got a spare room? And that room is panda-sized?
Sure. Well, I don't have a room for you yet, but I can build one. Let's go back to my base and we'll get you settled in.
Thanks. By the way, my name's Patrick.
I'm Zozo.
You sure are impressive for an eel, Zozo.
Well, that's kind of reductive, but thanks anyway. Come on. Patrick the panda followed me back to my base, and I got to work on building him a room where he could stay. When I was finished, Grace the Gorgon came to talk to me.
Zozo, Terry the Troll needs help. There's a ghost attacking his home, but I can't fight it alone. Will you come with me and help?
Of course, poor Terry. Let's head on over there right now. From day 32 to day 35, Grace the Gorgon and I traveled to the Badlands to help Terry the Troll. When we got there, Terry's shack was a mess. And I don't mean he forgot to pick up his dirty socks. I mean the whole thing had been knocked down. And Terry was nowhere to be seen. Instead, there was just a creepy ghost hovering out front.
You're too late, Zozo. Your friend has already left this life behind. Pity he died this way and not in the jaws of the mighty Dread Beast. He was not as lucky as you will be.
What do you mean? That can't be true!
But it is. One way or another, you will join us. I have heard that the Dread Beast is craving eel pie, and his hunger will soon be sated.
No, it won't. You may have taken my friend, but I'll never let you beat me. I shot a wither skull at the ghost and vaporized it. It felt good, but I was still heartbroken about Terry.
We can't let Terry's death be in vain, Zozo.
I may only be a little fire eel, but as long as I have fire breath in my body, I won't let the Dread Beast do this to anyone ever again. From day 36 to day 39, I returned to the Basalt Barrera. Now that I got rid of the Dread Knight, this place is pretty peaceful. I'd love to kick back and relax out here. Well, not kick. I don't have feet, but you get the idea. I was just about to try and squeeze in a little relaxation between quests when another ogre approached me.
Oi, your name's Zozo, isn't it? I've got a right awful bloke in me house. He just won't leave. I tried to chase him out, and he said he'd burn me to a crisp, he did.
Wow, people from the Nether sure have a funny way of talking. But I get what you mean, friend. Show me the way, and I'll do my best to help. He took me to his house, where, sure enough, a great big fire ogre was getting ready to burn the place down. Luckily, I threw a wither skull and stopped him before he could torch the Nether ogre's house. Here you go. Still just as not burnt down as it was before.
Well, Bob's your uncle. Say, you're that bloke what's looking to get rid of the Dread Beast?
I am.
Well, he's only out there in the swamplands, he is.
That's good to know. I just won't go there until I'm strong enough to fight and win. From day 40 to day 43, I traveled back home to my base. When I got there, I was surprised to find Sid the Cyclops waiting for me.
Hey there, Zozo! While you were out, I built some additional rooms.
Oh, that's amazing! I need a room for my friend here. But what made you think of that?
Well, I was hoping we could invite more guests to come stay. I know a few guys.
It turns out that very guy was Patrick the Panda, who I'd already met. The more the merrier. Here's your new room, Patrick.
Holy, it's perfect, Zozo. Say, could you do me one more favor? Could you go to the bayou and get my favorite book? I left it out there, and I've got a hankering for reading.
Sure, I'll head over there now. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled to the bayou to look for Patrick the Panda's favorite book. I probably should have asked him what it looked like, or what it was called. Oh well, I'm here now. But I wasn't the only one here. The terrifying Dreadbeast popped out right in front of me.
Indeed you are, Zozo. Tasty eel, it's almost my supper time. Once it is, I will feast. And the prophecy foretells that once I eat a fire eel, I will reach my ultimate power and devour all that I see.
I'll never let you eat me, especially not after you said all that scary stuff.
When the time comes, you will not be able to escape.
With that, he disappeared, but I didn't get a chance to wonder where he went. In his place, he left behind a huge, mean-looking blue manticore.
Look upon your future, Zozo. If I could not defeat the Dreadbeast, then surely a tiny, insignificant fire eel will not be able to. You will be devoured like the rest.
Why still work for him after what he did to you?
Fool, there is no choice. Once the Dreadbeast has eaten you, there is no freedom.
That's terrible. I could tell he was the toughest opponent I'd faced so far, but if I wanted to save myself and free the blue manticore from the Dreadbeast's grip, I was going to have to win! From day 50 to day 53, I continued my fight against the blue manticore. He was even stronger than he looked. I was pretty worried that I might not make it out of this one.
Just accept your fate!
Never! No one deserves that! I used all of the strength I had and fought as hard as I could. And with the help of my trusty Witherskull, I finally managed to defeat him. But by the time I did, the Dreadbeast was long gone. I was hoping to find out where exactly his base is. I know it's in a swamp, but where? Just then, I noticed something on the ground. The manticore must have dropped it. I took a closer look, and it was a map with Dreadbeast Clubhouse written on it. This must be where his base is. Once I'm strong enough, I'm going straight there. From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search for Patrick the Panda's book. Finally, I came across a book lying on the ground. I went over to pick it up, but a hell ostrich leapt at me and started attacking. Hey, that's my friend's book. I need it back. The hell ostrich didn't say anything. It just kept attacking me. Okay, we don't have to chat about it, but you just have to let me take the book. With a few well-timed attacks, I was able to defeat the hell ostrich and grab the book. Sure enough, it said Panda's book on it. It also dropped something else. Netherite ingots. Maybe I can use these later. I hurried back to my base to find Patrick the Panda. Patrick, I got your book.
Thank you, Zozo. I reckon I'll never know how to repay you.
You can pay me back with your friendship and by enjoying that book.
I also happen to have heard tell of a magic apple, one that gives anyone who eats it a massive boost of strength. Might be just what you need.
I'll keep an eye out for a magic apple then. From day 58 to day 62, I took a look around my base. This place is pretty great, but it could be even better. I wandered over to the chicken farm and had an idea. That's it. I'll expand this area so we can have even more chickens. With all of these new people staying at the base, we'll need lots of eggs. After that, I headed back into the mining cave to look for anything I could use to upgrade my gear. It took a long time, but I managed to find some diamonds. I took them back to my base and used them to craft a set of diamond armor, a diamond pickaxe, and a diamond sword. Wait until the Dreadbeast gets a look at this. Good luck eating all these diamonds. Grace the Gorgon then approached with some more good news.
Zozo, come and see what I've done. I've added to the base. This is the party room, where we can all celebrate when you've bested the beast. I know you can do it.
Thanks for believing in me, Grace. From day 63 to day 66, I was hanging out at my base, practicing my dance moves in the party room when Sid the Cyclops came to see me.
Zozo, I heard that there might be some helpful materials in Birch Forest.
Where'd you hear that?
Got a tip from my materials guy.
It's good enough for your guy. It's good enough for me. I traveled to the Birch Forest and got to work looking for anything useful. As I searched, I spotted a maned wolf stalking her way toward me. Please don't attack me. I'm busy.
I wasn't gonna attack you. I was gonna say hi and ask you for a favor if that's okay. I'm Mallory.
Nice to meet you. I'm Zozo. What kind of favor?
My baby was kidnapped by a silver skeleton. Please help me get it back.
Of course. Where did you last see him? Let's go. From day 67 to day 70, I followed the maned wolf to another part of the Birch Forest. There, I could see a silver skeleton. Where are you hiding the baby maned wolf?
I'll never tell. She's definitely not locked in that building over there.
Huh, I tricked you. Time to fight. I didn't give the silver skeleton any more time. I shot a wither skull at the skeleton. He attacked me in return, but my armor kept me from taking too much damage. Then it was time to test out my new diamond sword. I was able to defeat the silver skeleton with only 2 swipes. Then I opened the door to the nearby totally not suspicious building, and there was the baby wolf.
Thank you so much. I'll change her name to Zozo after you.
That's really nice, but please don't do that. A thanks is enough. From day 71 to day 74, I decided to follow the map to the cold swamplands and try to sneak a look at that dreadbeast hideout. While I was following the map's path, I started thinking about how much had already happened. I've had some amazing adventures so far. To find even more of my awesome antics, make sure to search ZOZO. That's my name. Finally, I reached the cold swamplands. Jeez, they call it cold for a reason. This is definitely no place for a fire eel. Then, in swooped the dread beast.
You will have plenty of time to get used to it after I've had my meal and your spirit is trapped here forever.
The dread beast found me before I found him. Time to see if I'm ready to fight this guy. I shot a wither skull at him, but he tanked it with complete ease. I'll try the sword. I attacked with my sword, but he barely seemed to feel it.
Like a mere paper cut.
Uh-oh, he hit me back, and my new armor protected me from getting completely knocked down, but I knew I wouldn't last too much longer. I'm not ready to take him on. From day 75 to day 78, I ran all the way back to my base. I wish I could fight him now, but if I do that before I get stronger, I'll lose for sure. I decided to lie down in my room for a while. I want to be a hero, but I'm starting to think that, sadly, I'm only an eel. Grace the Gorgon knocked on my door, interrupting my sad thoughts.
Hey Zozo, I know you're disappointed, but I wanted to show you an addition I've made to our home here. Come and look.
I followed her all the way to a new watchtower. Oh, this is pretty cool. Thank you, Grace. I feel better. While Grace and I were admiring the watchtower and all the watching we'd be able to do up there, Patrick joined me.
Take a look at what I found.
He handed me a magic apple. Hey, this is like the one you told me about.
Not just like it, it's the same one. Try it.
I ate the apple, and I felt myself growing bigger and more powerful. My hearts increased to 60, and I gained a new attack. I could shoot a fireball. I'll show that dread beast what being a fire eel is all about. From day 79 to day 84, I traveled back to the cold swamplands. This time, if the dread beast ambushes me again, I'll be ready. I didn't spot him anywhere, but I was able to test out my new strength and my fireball on an undead scorpion that tried to sting me. Nice try, but I'm not a little fire eel that people can pick on anymore. I'm a big, strong eel that plays by my own rules. That awesome act of firepower attracted the attention of a friendly polar bear.
You sure are. I know what that's like. Well, not the being an eel part. As you can see, I'm a polar bear.
Hi. I decided to sit with the polar bear for a little while, and when I finally got up to go, he stopped me for a second.
Thanks for the company. Hey, is that netherite? Attach it to your sword, like this.
Then he crafted a netherite sword for me. Thank you, this is great! From day 85 to day 89, I said goodbye to the nice polar bear and took my new netherite sword back to my base. When I got there, I saw that someone had destroyed my new watchtower. Hey, Grace worked really hard on that. I looked around for the culprit, and I saw a ghost floating away into the Badlands. Oh, no you don't. I chased after the ghost as fast as I could. As I did, a painted kitty stopped me.
Excuse me? Could you point the way to the birch forest? I'm terribly lost.
I quickly pointed her in the right direction, then kept running after the ghost. Looks like he's running toward the cold swamplands. From day 90 to day 94, I finally managed to catch up with the ghost. He ran into the Dreadbeast's hideout. I stopped just outside. I'm not ready to go in there yet, but I can wait out here and see what happens. The ghost came back out of the hideout like he was looking for me. I got a better look at him and saw that he wasn't just a ghost. He was a huge, tough-looking Dreadghoul.
My, look who took the bait. It's the main course for the coming feast.
I'm so sick of you all saying stuff like that.
Then try and stop me, if you dare.
I shot a fireball at the Dreadghoul, and it barely even fazed him. Uh-oh, he's the toughest minion I've fought yet. From day 95 to day 97, I continued my battle against the Dreadghoul. I really need to do my best if I'm gonna win this one. With the help of my new netherite sword, I was finally able to knock the Dreadghoul down for good. His helmet fell to the floor, and I grabbed it. It was netherite. This goes great with my sword. Hey, what's this? I spotted a note on the ground. It says the Dreadbeast is getting worried about me. He thinks I might be able to destroy him before he can eat me and fulfill the prophecy. This is great news. It means I'm definitely on the right track. I can't back down. I've got to get everything I possibly need before I enter the final battle. On day 98, I returned to my base. Grace the Gorgon and the rest were waiting for me. I'm really starting to think I can do this. I wasn't so sure before, but now I know everything will work out.
It will. And look, I fixed the watchtower. The Dreadbeast and his ilk can't keep us down.
Yeah! Next, I spoke to Patrick the Panda.
Zozo, before you head on out of here to fight that big boss, take this. It's a potion of strength. It'll power you up good.
Thank you. This is just what I need. And finally, Sid the Cyclops.
I don't have any potions or any repairs done. Just this. I may only have one eye, but I can see a bright future ahead of you, and the rest of us too. Because you're gonna do it, kid.
Thank you. Well, no more waiting around. I've got to go see a Dreadbeast about a battle. On day 99, I traveled back to the cold swamplands and the Dreadbeast's hideout. When I got there, I started to get pretty worried because the whole place was crawling with ghosts. Well, they were floating, but they were everywhere. But the maned wolf from before came bounding up to me.
I can handle these ghosts. You get inside while I keep them busy.
While the maned wolf took care of the ghost, I finally entered the Dreadbeast clubhouse. On day 100, I entered the Dreadbeast base and found him waiting there for me.
Yes, I knew you'd be here soon. My stomach has been growling. Time to feast.
Why do you have to eat all these innocent victims? Why can't you just have some pie or a sandwich like everybody else?
Because no sandwich in this world tastes sweeter than absolute power.
What about pie? Pie's pretty sweet.
Enough talk. I'm much too hungry and I'm craving fire eel.
He lunged at me and attacked, but I was ready. I dodged him and shot back a fireball in return. It hit him, but he kept going. He rushed at me again, and this time he knocked me back. But I wasn't done yet. I used my netherite sword to get the upper hand.
Zozo, imagine it. If you join my ghostly army, then you will share in my infinite power. The world will be ours.
No thanks. I'm not taking that deal. I drank the strength potion and finally got the better of him. And with one more swipe of my sword, I destroyed the mighty, terrible Dreadbeast. I did it! I saved the day! I'll say it, this eel is on fire! On day 1, I spawned into the Sika Woods as an adorable little fire rabbit. I may just be a wascally wabbit, but if you mess with me, that doesn't mean you won't get burned. I decided to hop through the woods and explore, hoping I wouldn't accidentally set anything on fire with my burning bunny body. At least I know I'll never get cold. I wanted to stay optimistic, but it got a lot harder when a big, scary bug came crawling out of the forest behind me. It was a Myrmex soldier.
Halt, by order of Her Majesty, the Myrmex Queen. What is your business here?
Don't worry, sir. I was just looking around. I spawned nearby. I can just leave if you want.
Not so fast. We've been told to keep a lookout for suspicious rabbits, and you're both suspicious and a rabbit. Come with me.
But what if I don't want to come with you?
Then I'll just have to take you by force.
I didn't like the idea of being taken by force, so I turned and hopped away as quickly as I could. I may have not had any weapons, but at least I was extremely fast. I'm just a baby fire rabbit for now, with only 10 hearts, but if I can get away from these creepy crawlies, I'll be able to get bigger and stronger. But my little self-pep talk was interrupted by another Mermex soldier popping out from behind a tree and stopping me in my tracks.
Don't you know it's rabbit season, silly bunny? Us Mermex soldiers are everywhere in the Seco Woods. You better come with me, or someone, somewhere, is going to enjoy a bowl of rabbit soup tonight.
That was clearly a threat, so I decided to play along and follow him so I could save my fire rabbit skin. On day 2, the Mermex soldier pushed me all the way to a weird, bee-like looking hive base on the edge of the woods. Not the kind of place where I'd typically like to spend my day. What is this place?
This is the hive, you misbehaving little rabbit. This is where me and my fellow Mermexes live with our wonderful queen. She's currently in a different biome on royal business, but when she returns, she'll question you personally.
How long will that take, though?
It will take as long as it takes. Do not question the judgment of our beloved queen.
He didn't talk to me much after that. I was taken to some kind of holding cell in the hive and pushed inside to wait for the return of the queen. But she could be gone for weeks. I don't want to be trapped in here for all that time.
You're telling me?
I turned and saw a pink pixie fluttering around the cell, looking bored.
I'm Paris, the pink pixie. I feel like I've been trapped in here forever. I was just flying through the Seco Woods, minding my own business, when those Mermex goons grabbed me and dragged me in here for being suspicious.
Sorry for making assumptions here, but can't you use your pink pixie magic to get us out of here?
Nope. These walls are magic-proof.
But are they fireproof? I walked closer to the wooden fence gates until they caught fire and the blocks started breaking. Soon enough, we were free. As we escaped, a Mermex soldier almost caught us, but we managed to get out of there.
Thank you for freeing me, Zozo. I'm going to go see my family. They're probably worried about me, but I hope we meet again someday.
I hope that too, Paris. Safe travels. Paris left, and I decided to get out of the Seco Woods before more Mermexes were sent after me. On day 3, I found my way into the meadow, where I figured that no Mermex soldier could ever find me. Man, escaping that hive was hungry work though. I wonder if there's some food around here that's perfect for a little fire rabbit like me. Not long after, I found a patch of carrots. Perfect! I dug them up and ate them, feeling my hunger bar replenish. It made me feel a whole lot better. Until another, bigger rabbit hopped over to me, and he didn't seem pleased.
Hey, those are my carrots you just ate. They were prized, award-winning, and you just ate them without even asking me. Do you have any idea how messed up that is?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't know they were yours. I never would have eaten them if I did.
You think that makes me feel better? I'm still down a bunch of carrots. We rabbits should stick together, not steal from each other.
Is there any way I could make it up to you in the name of rabbit solidarity?
Well, there are a few favors you could do for me. Follow me. I'll figure out a way for you to pay off your debts.
Thank you so much for your forgiveness. I'm Zozo, by the way.
I'm KR. Let's go.
And I followed KR, eager to get back into his good graces. From day 4 to day 5, KR escorted me back to his base in the meadow. He must have been pretty brave to live out here in the middle of nowhere.
This is my place. Don't tell anyone about this place under any circumstances.
Why?
Because I like my privacy. Don't ask too many questions. It's not a likable quality.
Inside the base, he explained to me exactly how I could repay him for eating his special carrots.
As you know, the world is hard for little rabbits like us. People think they can pick on us, look down on us, and I've seen too much of that throughout my life. I've kept a list of the kind of people who have made my life harder over the years. Rabbit haters, you know. Help me get through my list, and not only will you be happier, you'll have repaid your debt.
That sounds like something I could do. Where should I start, KR?
You can start by getting out of here and making your own base. It'd be dangerous for us to be seen together. Take this stone sword and stone pickaxe and make something of yourself before you come back to me.
He gave me the tools, and I got out of there. The meadow gave me the creeps, so I decided I'd set up my base in the ebony woods instead. I used the pickaxe to mine some stone. I made myself an axe and cut down some trees for wood. I found a nice clearing in the forest and built myself a basic base where I could at least sleep with a roof over my head for the night. But when I was done building, I got my first unwelcome visitor, one of the Mermex soldiers who had captured me earlier.
There you are! I knew you were the killer rabbit, and now I'm gonna put you down.
Killer rabbit? What? That's not me.
I'm not gonna listen to your lies. Time to battle, you bad bunny.
He seemed strong, and as I was, I felt like I couldn't beat him. I summoned up my strength and leveled up. I got bigger, stronger. I now had 20 hearts and a new ability, the Fireball attack. And with one blast of that fireball, the Mermech soldier was gone. I really am living up to the Fire Rabbit name. From day 6 to day 8, I was exploring the Ebony Woods a little further. It was a strange and magical place, made even more magical by a sudden reappearance, Paris the Pink Pixie. I immediately hopped over to meet her. Hey, Paris, is everything okay?
I wish I could say it was Zozo, but no, something terrible happened. I went to see my family, but they were all gone, and their home was destroyed. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, Paris, that's terrible. Do you want to stay at my base? I can help you in your time of need.
Thank you, Zozo, but right now, I need to be alone. We'll speak again soon. Be safe out there.
Paris the Pink Pixie left. I felt terrible for her and started to wonder if maybe the ones who destroyed Paris's family were the same ones that KR warned me about. Maybe it was time to begin my quest. I returned to KR's base in the meadow and asked him what I should do first to complete my mission.
Your first target is the hairy troll further into the meadow. He's a violent, dangerous individual, so you should take him out with extreme prejudice.
Do you think he could have been behind the destruction of the Pink Pixie family?
What? How do you know about that?
I know the survivor.
There's a strong possibility. But don't ask him about it when you meet him. Just destroy him. He'll try to deceive you.
From day 9 to day 10, I followed KR's instructions and went further out into the meadow. Wow, this is vast and empty. But I pressed on. I needed to avenge Paris and repay my carrot debt to KR. There was no backing out now. Suddenly, the hairy troll jumped out and ambushed me, ready to attack.
I knew he'd send someone after me. Of course he'd be too cowardly to go after me himself. Pathetic.
Cowardly? No. What's cowardly is destroying a whole family of pink pixies rather than picking on someone your own size. I'm just doing a favor for a friend.
You have terrible taste in friends. I've never hurt any pink pixies.
He told me you'd lie. Let's battle. The hairy troll was a tough enemy, but with my sword and fireballs, I was able to defeat him in the end. Shortly after his defeat, a wolf woman came out of the forest.
Wow, you really fried that troll. I had no idea anyone could do those awesome fire tricks.
Thanks. I don't like hurting people, but I needed to stop him from ever hurting anyone, like he hurt the Pink Pixie family.
Oh, the Pink Pixie family. I heard about that. It was terrible. But I don't think a troll was behind that. It was some kind of other creature.
So the attacker is still at large? Oh no, I need to speak to KR about this. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to KR's base, telling him that I'd defeated the hairy troll, but that the one who'd attacked the Pink Pixie family was still out there somewhere.
If the hairy troll wasn't behind it, then it must be the Thorn Wolf, a truly dangerous and evil creature that lives deep in the Ebony Woods. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Thorn Wolf was behind the Pink Pixie family attack.
Thorn Wolf? Even the name sounds scary.
It's definitely a scary creature. I recommend getting better weapons and tools before you go to destroy it. Otherwise, you may find yourself at a disadvantage.
Good idea, KR. I'll get right on it. I found my way to a cave in the meadow and explored until I found some iron ore veins inside. I used some of my spare stone to make a furnace, then mined the iron ore and smelted it into ingots. Now time to do some crafting. I created an iron sword and an iron pickaxe, an iron chestplate, and then left the cave, where I ran into a creeper spider. Oh no! Rather than engaging, I ran away as quickly as I could. The creeper spider exploded behind me, leaving a huge crater in the ground. From day 13 to day 15, I ventured further into the Ebony Woods than I ever had before, my little fire rabbit heart filled with fear. If the Thorn Wolf really was as powerful and as dangerous as KR told me, then I could be in real danger even being around here. As I was exploring, I heard a sound behind me, so I turned and saw the Thorn Wolf. He was right there, and I was totally surprised. I braced myself for an attack, but he didn't attack. Instead, he spoke with a kindly voice.
Is everything okay, young rabbit? You seem nervous.
Are you the Thorn Wolf?
Oh, yes, it is my duty to patrol the Ebony Woods and protect the creatures there.
So you're not a bad guy?
Well, we always try our best, don't we? Stay safe out there, little rabbit.
The Thorn Wolf left, and I was confused. He was nothing like KR told me. Something really wasn't right here, and I needed to speak to KR immediately. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to the meadow to find KR's base, but it was empty, and KR was nowhere to be seen. This is strange. Maybe he's just out there running some errands. I returned to my base, only to find that Paris the pink pixie was there waiting for me. This couldn't have been a good sign. I knew that much. What's wrong, Paris?
Zozo, it's an emergency. I know who destroyed my family.
Who?
It was a creature they call the killer rabbit. It's one of the most dangerous things in the overworld.
Killer rabbit? KR. Oh no! And just like that, it all came together. KR was the killer rabbit, and he was behind everything. That meant I needed to get back to the Thorn Wolf as quickly as possible. He was in terrible danger. And I was right, and I didn't realize it soon enough. When I was there, Thorn Wolf was already gone, and only the killer rabbit remained.
I wondered how long it'd take you to figure it out. Oh well, you were at least a good tool for a while, even if you're useless to me now.
I don't get it. Why were you using me like that?
I needed a thaw rabbit, someone to take the heat for me. And who's better at taking heat than a fire rabbit? Besides, you really did eat my carrots, and I couldn't let that fly, could I?
You may have used me, killer rabbit, but now I'm gonna take you down. I fired a fireball at him, and it seemingly had no effect. And when he hit me, it was like being hit by a train. Everything went dark, and I was gone. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up, and the killer rabbit was gone. Instead, a mysterious figure was standing next to me, a large hippogriff.
Do you work for or with the killer rabbit? Answer quickly.
No, I only ever worked with him when he was tricking me. Now I know who he truly is. I'm 100% against him.
Good, then we have a common enemy. I am Laharl the Hippogriff, and I was a friend of the Thorn Wolf. We were defenders of the people, guardians of the forest. But now he's gone, and only I remain.
You're not alone. I want to be better. I'm Zozo. Let me become a guardian of the forest too. We're going to defeat the killer rabbit together. Come to my base with me, and we'll start to plan.
Agreed. We will defeat that monstrous creature and keep the people of the forest safe forevermore.
I went into the forest with a Laharl, and we gathered enough stone and wood to construct a new house for him to stay in. Together, we'd be stronger than we'd ever been before. From day 23 to day 26, I was hopping back through the Sika Woods where I first spawned when I saw the pink glow of Paris the Pixie. Predictably, Paris the Pixie was in peril, perpetuated by a pestering pursuer. Excuse me, so much alliteration.
Zozo, is that you? Help! This wind serpent is trying to blow me away!
The wind serpent did indeed look fierce, but even a gust of wind will only fan the flames of this fire rabbit. I hopped forward and hit the wind serpent with a fireball. The slithering mob stopped chasing Paris and started to fly towards me. We battled it out in melee, and I was able to bring it down with my sword.
Somehow I knew I could count on you, Zozo.
I'm just glad you still trust me. I attacked all the wrong people because of KR, and I let that menace run free all the while. That killer rabbit gives our kind a bad name.
You weren't the only one fooled by his goody-good act. Don't worry, Zozo. I know that you're out here trying to do the right thing.
Doing the best that I can, and I'll work with anyone else who is willing to help me take that lying killer down.
Count me in. My family got hurt because of his wicked ways. He won't be getting away with that.
Thanks, Paris. From day 27 to day 31, I found a flock of sheep wandering through the woods. They looked really tired, like they had been walking for several days. I hopped over to see what was going on, and soon found out what had happened. These sheep were friends of the Thorn Wolf from the Ebony Woods, and since he was gone, they'd been looking for a new protector to save them from the killer rabbit. You'll be safe at my base, sheep. Not only is it back where you used to live, but I'll be your protector now. When I got back to my base in the Ebony Woods, I helped the sheep settle in and then went to go see how Laharl was holding up.
Welcome back, Zozo. I made the base cooler by adding some rad banners.
Wow, awesome work, Laharl. All the buildings of the base now had awesome rabbit banners on them, which suited me just fine. Meanwhile, over at the real killer rabbit's base, not the pretend base over in the meadow, he was now in the process of maniacally planning his next wicked plot from his evil lair.
Now, there may be a few people around who know that I'm the killer rabbit, but I think we can arrange some accidents for those individuals. What say you, my fine warden dragon friend?
If there's anyone who is good at causing accidents, it's me. They might as well call me Daisy. First name Oopsie, full name Oopsie Daisy. You just had an accident of the "you're not gonna be around anymore" kind.
We're really gonna need to work on your threatening lines there, Oopsie.
It's difficult. My evil boss is a rabbit. Sorry, boss.
You better wise up. I'm not just any rabbit. I'm a killer rabbit.
From day 32 to day 35, I remembered that one of the Mermex soldiers that I had encountered said that they had been looking for suspicious rabbits. So I made the choice to go and seek out the hive of the Mermex Queen. I might be a rabbit, but I know what suspicious one they might be looking for. If I tell them who the killer rabbit is, maybe all the other rabbits will stop being captured like I was. I made it to the hive and found that it was guarded by Mermex soldiers. I guess I should have expected that.
Halt and stay halted.
I'm not halting. I'm here to see the queen.
Like we'd fall for that one, rabbit.
The Mermex soldier tried to fight me, but I dodged his attacks. I didn't want to hurt anybody while I was trying to make an alliance, so I shot a fireball away from them to let them know who I was. Look, I'm not the rabbit you're looking for. I've got fire powers.
Fire powers? But that means you're the one who broke out of the cell.
That is true, but only because I shouldn't have been there in the first place. I know which rabbit really did the crimes, so he should be the one who does the time.
Okay, we still have questions, but that rhyme convinced us to take you to the queen.
Yes, don't be mean. Let me see the queen.
You can stop rhyming now.
The Mermex soldiers let me inside of the hive so that I could have my important meeting with the Mermex queen. Naturally, the room where I was able to speak with the queen was her own throne room.
I am the Mermex Queen. What is your request to my majesty, small rabbit?
It concerns the fate of all the land, your Mermex queenliness. I know who the killer rabbit is.
You do? Oh, at long last, that monster has been found. How do you know about him?
He went by the name KR, and now he's on a new spree of attacks on innocent creatures all throughout the biomes.
He always was like that, even in my mother's time. She was the Mermex Queen before me, and when the creatures of the woods started being attacked, she suspected everyone but the innocent-looking rabbit. It was her mistake, because the killer rabbit claimed her as another one of his victims. I had to take over the throne, just as my mother's killer went into hiding. I've been hunting him down ever since.
It's such a sad story. I promise to help you bring the killer rabbit to justice with all the fire in my heart.
There is more, but it's far too painful to talk about. You should go home for now. I will send a soldier to visit once I've emotionally prepared myself.
From day 36 to day 39, I got ready to take my armor up a notch in defense by preparing to go back into the cave for some more iron ore. The killer rabbit was a lot older and more experienced than me, so I had to be all the more prepared for our eventual showdown. I soon found a spot in the cave where iron was abundant and mined away, adding the iron ore to my inventory. Next, I got out my crafting table and smelted the iron ore into the iron ingots I would need to craft the rest of my armor. That should do it. Alright, time to become an iron fire rabbit. I made myself an iron axe since I had been gathering so much wood lately, and an iron helmet, iron leggings, and a pair of iron boots to complete my full set of iron armor. You can't see it on my fur, but believe me, it's there. Now equipped with all this brand new iron gear, I ventured deeper in the cave and found that beneath the iron, there were a few diamonds to be mined. I made sure to get them before I left. Later on, I was back above ground when I got an unexpected visitor. He was half rabbit and half wolf. A rabbit wolf.
Hi there. Bet you never met nobody like me before.
Hey, you're right.
Anyway, the Mermex Queen said I could leave the dungeon cell at the hive if I went and brought you back to her.
Let me guess, her soldiers locked you up because you were a suspicious rabbit?
Well, yeah, look at me. I'm such a suspicious rabbit, it's hard to know if I'm even a rabbit. Anyway, you should go meet the Mermex Queen over in the Ebony Woods.
From day 40 to day 43, I went to meet the Mermex Queen over in the Ebony Woods. Your queenliness, I am excited to work together and solve these crimes.
I knew the rabbit wolf wouldn't fail to bring you here. If you ever see him again, make sure to thank him for me.
I certainly will. So, are you ready to tell me more about the killer rabbit and his previous rampage?
Yes, it's time you knew everything about what happened with him.
Even though we had met in a secret location and were trying to keep our conversation quiet, Oopsie Daisy the Warden Dragon had super powerful hearing and was able to pick up on our voices from another part of the woods.
Oopsie Daisy, time for an accident to happen. On purpose.
He barged into the clearing and fired a sonic laser blast at me, which did many hearts of damage. Hey, what's the big idea?
Nothing. I just happened to be totally unintentionally getting rid of 2 people who know who the killer rabbit is by accident.
Haha! Now I know who you work for. You just said it was the killer rabbit.
Ah, darn it. I actually didn't mean to do that. Oh well, I'll just make you disappear. Then nobody will know.
He fired another sonic blast my way, which I almost avoided. I countered with a fireball that didn't seem to do much. I looked around for the Mermex Queen and saw that she had escaped while I had been talking to the Warden Dragon. Yeah, I should probably do the same thing. I ran off into the woods, trying to go a different direction so that the Warden Dragon wouldn't know who to follow. From day 44 to day 49, I had gotten away from the Warden Dragon and safely arrived back at my base. I never expected the Mermex Queen to be there as well, waiting to continue our conversation from where we left off. I was happy to see that she was okay and could fend for herself, even without her soldiers. I guess the killer rabbit knows we both know about him. That's why he sent that Warden Dragon to destroy us.
Perhaps he needs to rely on his henchmen now, because he isn't as strong as he used to be.
You mean that he used to be stronger? He totally demolished me the last time we fought.
Well, he still is the killer rabbit, but he used to carry around a secret rare battle axe that made it really easy for him to make anyone he wanted disappear forever.
He was a killer rabbit with a killer battle axe? That's so scary. How did you stop him?
I didn't. A mysterious mob known as a Crimson Phantom laid a curse upon the battle axe so that the killer rabbit could never use it again.
I know. Maybe if we find this battle axe, we could use it against him.
Didn't stop the killer rabbit from being evil, but it did weaken him.
Then I'm off to the meadow.
That's good thinking, Zozo. I heard that the battle axe was crafted deep down in the depths of the meadow. You can find some clues about it there.
From day 50 to day 53, I delved all the way to the end of the meadow in order to find out more information about who crafted the battle axe that the killer rabbit used in his previous reign of terror. After a lot of searching, I came across an abandoned workshop that looked like it was once used for smithing weapons. This must be the place, I reckon. I found a book near the crafting table that was titled Axe Maker's Notes and opened it up to read the words inside. I have made a lot of axes out of a lot of different materials in my day, and boy do I love doing it. It's my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. In fact, it's the only thing I do. I'm the axe maker after all. But this latest axe, it's not like the other ones. It's got an evil aura around it, like it's too sharp and too scary just to be used on trees. This axe seems like it could kill someone. It's a killer axe. I better get rid of it before someone uses it for evil. Oh, wait, what's that? Someone is coming. The sentence in the book ended there, and the rest of the pages were blank. Oh no, the killer rabbit must have snuck up behind the axe maker and gotten rid of him so he could steal the killer axe. What a fiend! Still, from what I'd read, the battle axe was a powerful weapon. It must be able to hurt the killer rabbit if he was willing to do so much to get it. I looked around for more clues, but couldn't find any, so I gave up and started to head back to my base. From day 54 to day 57, I was making my way through the meadow when I happened to pass by the area where I had found those carrots before. Didn't the killer rabbit say that those carrots were his? If I know rabbits, and I probably do because I am one, then that could mean that the killer rabbit's base might be around here too. I was excited that I had discovered a clue, but that excitement was quickly lost when the Warden Dragon showed up to blast me with a sonic laser attack.
Oops, pardon me. That time I was trying to get rid of you, and I accidentally didn't do enough damage.
You did enough, actually. You don't have to do any more damage.
No, I think I do. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do all the damage to you.
As much as I wanted to, I was still not strong enough to take down the Warden Dragon, so I made my escape as quickly as I could. Even though I didn't find it, I was right about the killer rabbit's base being nearby. The horrible hare was there right now, scheming up a storm.
Soon, yes, very soon, I will find a way to reverse the curse and take back my battle axe. All of them will pay then.
From day 58 to day 62, I had made it back to the base and saw that Laharl had created a storage room for all of our weapons. Great work, Laharl!
Thanks. I just figured since you were talking about a rare secret killer battle axe, I should make some room for it. One thing led to another, and now there's a whole room full of every other weapon we had.
There seems to be a lot of empty spaces. I guess I'll have to make us some more.
We could definitely use some diamond ones, since we don't have any yet.
Good point. I'll see if there are any more diamonds down in the mine. I went down to the mines, and it was just my luck. There were some more diamonds right in the same cavern where I had found the previous ones. I dug all around so that I could have enough for a diamond weapon to put in the weapon storage room. Once the diamonds were gathered, I chose to craft 2 diamond swords, one for myself and one for storage. I also crafted a diamond chestplate and a diamond pickaxe because diamonds make everything better. From day 63 to day 66, Laharl and I were hanging out in the base when our conversation suddenly turned serious.
When are we gonna do something about that killer rabbit, Zozo? He's starting to become a real problem for everyone.
I know, Laharl, but I can't even defeat the clumsy warden dragon he sent to make me disappear, much less the killer rabbit himself.
But if you had that secret rare killer battle axe, you might stand a chance.
But that's the trouble. I don't have that secret rare killer battle axe.
Not yet you don't, but I think I might know where it is.
Take me to it then. Don't you know how serious I am about wanting to stop the killer rabbit? Laharl listened to how serious I was and took me to the eroded Badlands where we found some cursed ruins. We walked up to them until we hit an invisible barrier. How did these ruins get so cursed?
A long time ago, the Crimson Phantom put a curse on these ruins that won't let anyone else enter.
The Crimson Phantom? Isn't that the same creature that cursed the battle axe?
Yes, but it looks like we need to get him to lift the curse before we can check to see if the battle axe is here.
From day 67 to day 70, the Myrmex Queen came into the base and told me that she had also been searching for the Crimson Phantom.
He's been sighted in the Ebony Woods, but my guards weren't able to capture him. He's even taken a few down.
I didn't realize this Crimson Phantom was such a dangerous creature.
He sure is. I could really use your help bringing the Crimson Phantom in.
Then let's do it. You can count on me, your queenliness. We left my base and went through the woods to find the Crimson Phantom flying away after having just defeated one of the Myrmex soldiers.
You'll never take me alive. I'm the dang old Crimson Phantom, you bunch of goofballs.
Knock it off, Crimson Phantom. We need your help.
Nah, who needs my help?
He attacked, so I had to blast him with fire. The Crimson Phantom was definitely strong based on the way he tanked my attack. So I whacked him a few times with my diamond sword. Please, don't fight. We just want to stop the killer rabbit, and we know that you do too. You put a curse on his battle axe so he couldn't hurt people with it.
So what if I did? It was probably the nicest thing I ever did for anyone.
It doesn't have to be if you help us again. Please, Crimson Phantom.
Ah, shucks. How can I say no to an innocent rabbit?
And just like that, I convinced the Crimson Phantom to help us retrieve the secret rare killer battle axe so we could defeat the killer rabbit. From day 71 to day 74, that pesky accident-prone warden dragon showed up at my base to try to get rid of me again.
Come on out and face me, Zozo. What's the worst that could happen? It will.
I hadn't gotten any stronger since we fought before, but my weapons and armor were a bit more durable, so I hopped out and decided to take him on. Take this, Daisy! Fireball! I circled around the warden dragon, shooting fireballs and trying to avoid his sonic blast. I wasn't fast enough, and my armor couldn't protect me. I took many hearts of damage. I got down to just half a heart. Oh no, is this how I'm gonna go out?
Apparently not, because instead of doing you in, I'm accidentally going to steal your best friend Laharl and completely not on purpose hold him hostage somewhere.
You monster! Why?
I don't know. I'm not sure why I do anything anymore, but I am evil.
The warden dragon dragged Laharl away, and there was nothing I could do about it because I was too weak. I can't do this! I'm just a rabbit! I went to the room to mope about it and close myself away from everyone else. I couldn't let them see me after such an embarrassing defeat. That was until the Crimson Phantom arrived.
Hey there, Zozo. Don't blame yourself for what happened. You'll get Laharl back.
You really think so, Crimson Phantom?
Of course I do. And once you do, you won't have to worry, because I've given your base some sweet defenses.
You wasn't kidding. The Crimson Phantom had made a wall around the base, which had a curse on it so it wouldn't allow any of my enemies to pass through. From day 75 to day 78, I learned more about the perimeter wall, like how it would only let people that I trusted into the base. The Myrmex Queen was definitely someone I knew I could trust. The perimeter wall let her right through. Greetings, your queenliness.
Zozo, there is one more thing I didn't tell you about the killer rabbit, but I'm going to tell you what that is now.
What is it, Myrmex Queen?
Your friend, Laharl, he kept this secret from you because he wanted to protect you. The truth is that the curses of the Crimson Phantom can be reversed by the feathers of a live hippogriff.
You mean that now the killer rabbit can
Reverse the curse and reclaim his ultimate weapon. Yes! You must go and rescue Laharl before the killer rabbit extracts his feathers.
I will. I think I know now where in the meadow his base is. The Mermex Queen gave me some javelins to serve as a ranged weapon and wished me luck as I departed. From day 79 to day 84, I searched for the killer rabbit's base in the meadow. I knew that it had to be somewhere around where I had found that fateful carrot patch. Sure enough, Oopsie Daisy the Warden Dragon was wandering around in plain view of that area. He had taken Laharl captive earlier, and now he was going to tell me where he was. Hey you, give me back my friend.
Oops, you aren't supposed to find me.
Well, now I have, and I'm gonna scorch you. I rained fireballs and javelins down on him from a distance, but it still wasn't enough, and his sonic blast still hurt quite a bit.
What was I worried about? It's not like you could defeat me even if I accidentally let you.
I was beginning to think I was done for, and then Laharl swooped down from above and attacked the Warden Dragon while his sonic blasts were focused on me.
Oh no, I should have seen that coming, but I accidentally did not.
Laharl's attacks did enough damage to bring the Warden Dragon down and defeat him for good. After the Warden Dragon was defeated, I approached Laharl. Laharl, you're free.
I sure am, Zozo. That Warden Dragon accidentally let me go before we even got to the lair of the killer rabbit. I've just been down here in the meadow, trying not to get caught again.
At any rate, I'm glad you managed to get away. I was worried about you.
I found something else while I was down here. A golden apple that is said to imbue the one who eats it with true strength, as long as they are pure of heart. It's yours now, Zozo.
Gee, thanks! I'm starving! I ate the golden apple and could feel myself transform. I must have been pure of heart because I grew into a supersized fire rabbit and had a grand total of 60 hearts. My jump was given a big boost too, allowing me to reach higher heights than ever before. From day 85 to day 89, Laharl and I went back to the base where things were once again becoming super ultra serious all of a sudden.
Zozo, it is time. I'm gonna take you back to the eroded Badlands so we can get that battle axe.
But how are we going to bypass the curse? Oh wait, aren't your feathers the way to do it?
Yes, my feathers can make a magic key that will let you get through. I held off on telling you until I was sure that you were pure of heart. But now that I know you are, and that you won't become another killer rabbit once you get the battle axe, I can give you the key.
Laharl gave me a bunch of his hippogriff feathers, and I crafted them into a key.
Use the key at the ruin. It'll be like I am with you.
I did as my good friend Laharl said, and traveled back to the cursed ruins in the eroded Badlands. With the magic key, I was able to bypass the curse and enter the ruins. Inside, I found the battle axe, lying in wait for me to claim it. I'm gonna put the magic key that Laharl made away. It'd be pretty silly if I accidentally reversed the curse and made it so that the killer rabbit could use the killer axe. After I had safely stowed the key, I took the secret rare battle axe from its place and left the ruins. From day 90 to day 94, I stepped out of the ruins and found the killer rabbit standing out there to confront me in the eroded Badlands.
How do you do, fellow rabbit?
It's over, KR. I have the battle axe now, and you'll never break the curse on it.
That's the thing about you, Zozo. You always think you understand everything. That's why it's so easy to trick you.
Nuh-uh. This time I do understand everything. I understand that you are a ruthless monster who must be stopped before he hurts anyone else.
But think of what we could accomplish if you joined me. Nobody would disrespect us bunnies anymore. We would be the top of the woods.
I'll never join you, killer rabbit.
Suit yourself. By the way, I accidentally picked up some feathers that your hippogriff friend Laharl dropped down in the meadow.
That's not good. The killer rabbit leaped forth and wrestled with me for the axe. I was a strong rabbit, but he was still stronger. And before I could stop him, he reversed the curse on the axe and took it back. No, you tricked me. I thought I understood, but I didn't.
You're too naive. Now wallow here in this sand pit.
He jumped on the sand I was sitting on, and the impact of his landing made the sand collapse, so I fell into a deep hole. From day 95 to day 97, I used my boosted jumps to slowly but surely make my way back up to the surface of the eroded Badlands. There was no time to lose. Now that the killer rabbit had the super secret rare killer battle axe, he was going to go on his biggest spree of attacks yet. And I know who he's gonna go after first. I rushed back to the Sika Woods and entered the hive of the Mermex Queen. Her soldiers were destroyed, and that wasn't even the worst part. In her throne room, the Mermex Queen was dying after having just been attacked by the killer rabbit and his killer axe. No, your queenliness!
Zozo, so you made it.
I'm so sorry. I tried to stop him, but he tricked me once again. And now he's wiped out your entire hive.
Do not worry. As long as there is a Myrmex queen, the hive will be able to replenish itself. What you must do now is get the battle axe away from him at all costs.
I'll do it. Even if I have to risk everything, I will do it.
In a few days, my final egg will hatch and become the new queen. You need to protect her for me.
I will, your queenliness. She passed on, leaving me behind in the world that I must save. On day 98, I returned to my base in the Ebony Woods and found that the perimeter wall and the rest of the base was destroyed. Laharl was there, but nobody else had survived the attack.
He came for the Crimson Phantom, Zozo, to make sure that he was never cursed again. Now the battle axe is his forever.
Don't say that, Laharl. I know that you and I get serious sometimes, but we always keep on trying to make things better.
The only reason he left me alive is in case anyone else cursed the axe, so that I could reverse it.
So that killer rabbit only spared you for his own reasons. That makes me so mad.
He'll probably fool you again if you give in to your emotions.
Well, my emotions are pure right now, and every spark of fire in my being demands justice.
Then what the heck? Go get that battle axe. You're strong enough now. I can feel it.
Laharl cheered me on as I marched off through the woods. On day 99, I arrived in the meadow with a burning passion in my heart. I was ready to take down that killer rabbit with all my strength and all of my fire. Once I was inside his base, I came face to face with my nemesis once more.
You never learn, do you, Zozo? Like fire, you think you're bright, but when it rains, you go out.
The only reign I see now is your reign of terror, and it ends here.
A clever use of two words that sound alike, but you've forgotten already that I have the killer axe.
Actually, it is you who has forgotten. That battle axe was accidentally forged to be evil, but it was touched by a hero who was pure of heart. I jumped at him, and once more we wrestled with the axe. This time, I managed to get it away from him and ran out of his base. The secret to the battle axe that I was finally able to understand was that it was cursed twice. Once I was back home, I used some more of Laharl's feathers I found in his base to undo the first curse that happened when it was made, turning it into a weapon of pure goodness and justice. Now, no evildoer could ever wield it. Only I could wield the battle axe. On day 100, I returned to the meadow with a new and improved super justified hero axe and faced off against the killer rabbit.
Why did you come back? I might have let you live for a while.
I had to. There's a whole world out there that needs to be protected from rotten rabbits like you. There is a young Myrmex queen who will hatch today. There is a hippogriff who is my best friend. For them, for everyone, my fires of good will burn out your evil. The killer rabbit hopped at me, but with the battle axe in my hand, my attacks were strong enough to take his hearts away.
Curse you, Zozo!
Haven't you got it yet? I can't be cursed. I blasted him with fireball after fireball, and then swung the battle axe down on him, ending the fight. There is a new rabbit in this land, and he's a protector rabbit.